No, I don't need that. Well,
we're live.
We are? Are you sure?
I'm never sure.
You're not sure of anything anymore. Hi, everybody. Welcome to a noon live stream on Thursday. I guess today's Thursday, October the 6th. Thank you all for joining us. Today, I plan on making some dishcloths. I know that sort of came up. Actually, it's come up a lot recently. People want to get started on some dishcloths or make some more for the stash, or maybe just refresh the ones you've got in the kitchen. I'm kind of on both teams today. I kind of need a few new dishcloths myself, and I also want to add a few to the Make Ahead stash. And we've got a lot of fun dishcloth tutorials that we've done. I think I'm going to use a couple as a base, but I'm going to do a little bit of experimenting today. I've put together a little pile of cotton yarns and a couple of other little things that, like I said, a little bit of experimentation. Got some hooks, got my coffee. Mr. InStitches is here pushing buttons, and we're good to go. So let's do a little quick tech check. We'll make sure that everybody can see and hear us relatively well.
We're getting thumbs up in that department.
Okay, super duper. Everyone's like, yeah, we can see you. Get to the dishcloths. Lovely.
A lot of our members are discovering our updated emojis.
Yes. We had a bit of a complaint the last time, going, hey, there should be some fall.
Where are the fall emojis? we were a little late on updating our emojis.
So we got that done.
But we got a bunch of new fall ones. So
yes, we have a couple of very new ones. And
we'll see if everyone can guess them.
Certainly,
I'm going to count the new ones or updated ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow!
Oh wow!
We updated 8 emojis.
We did that many?
Yeah. 8 updated emojis. Channel members, post them to the chat and see if you get them right.
I've pulled out some Halloween-ish colors that I think I can make look a little more Halloween-y. And I've got some Christmas colors too, or at least things that I think I can make look a little more Christmassy. So I thought I would experiment with some color choices. I thought I might try maybe some color changes in the middle of the pattern. And I thought today I would start with with our pretty simple dishcloth. It uses the falling leaves pattern because I can't get enough of that stitch. And it makes a really nice dishcloth, which is why we did a dishcloth tutorial on it. I think Mr. InStitches pinned the link to that tutorial at the top of the chat. We'll make sure that's included in the description box down below after the stream finishes too, in case you want to go pop over and check that out. If you've made any other falling leaf projects along with us, it's a pretty quick project. And it's a pretty easy stitch to get into your head. There's only one row that repeats over and over again. So I think I'm going to start with that falling leaf stitch. And I think I'm going to start with some Halloween colors. And I think I'm going to try and alternate colors. So this is what I was thinking. I have all of this purple cotton. And I've got this really pretty, I guess it's technically self-striping cotton. This is one of the colors that I used when I made that shell stitch market tote a little while ago. So it was this one and another ball of yarn that's got like more purples and blues and whites in it. But that's got green and pink and purple. It's kind of rainbowy, but I feel like the purple and the green stand out a little bit more than everything else. And I thought if I paired it up with purple, it might take on more of a Halloween sort of feel to it, or at least it could look comfortable in a Halloween themed kitchen. Anyway, I'm going to give this a try. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to alternate between the colors. So I'm going to sort of go back and forth. I'll do one row and then come back and then change colors and do one row and come back. So I keep all the colors kind of at one side. So I can just kind of carry them up the edge. And then when I put the border on, I can work over top of those carried colors. So I'm going to, I guess I'll start with the purple, and then I will add in the self-striping one as I go. I haven't done this before, so I'm just gonna, like I said, it's kind of experimentation day. That's why I love making making dishcloths because you can sort of fiddle around with stitches and colors, and if the whole thing doesn't turn out the way you like it, well, you can still just wash a dish with it. So no, nothing goes to waste here. Make sure I can pull this out. It feels like it's a bit tight. Maybe I'll take this off. Maybe not. This is something I like to do before I get crocheting. I like to make sure that I have a whole bunch of yarn free running, because if you're pulling from the inside of the yarn ball, which I like to do because I feel like it, the yarn ball doesn't dance around and get stuck under things. When you're pulling from the inside, as you know, sometimes you end up pulling all the guts out of the ball and you don't just get the middle string, and sometimes it kind of hooks itself on things. So before I get crocheting, I like to pull out a whole lot, unravel it so that it's all kind of laying back and forth on top of itself on my work surface or the floor next to me. And then because it's free running, I'm not going to have any snags, and that's not going to interrupt my tension. My tension will continue to be nice and easy because there's nothing pulling back on the yarn. So that's something I like to do first. Mr. InStitches, you're giggling.
Everyone's trying to guess the emojis.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone more or less got them right. It's actually 7 new updated ones, not 8. I miscounted.
I see.
So we have a couple of members here. So I'd like to shout out Sally Ann, a big re-welcome to Sally Ann.
Re-welcome. Hi, Sally Ann.
And Amy, who has been a Silk member for 17 months.
Wow, thank you, Amy.
Was on my way to shop for yarn and got a notification of the live stream, so decided to come home and watch instead.
Hey, you just saved yourself some money.
Yeah, look at you saving money.
And next time you go out, you'd be like, well, now I'm going out specifically for cotton yarn to make some dishcloths. So.
And a big thank you to Bonnie, who's been a Silk member for 33 months.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Love the new fall emojis.
Yay! Bonnie. Yes, they're fun.
Yeah.
I like that little heart.
There's some are from previous years, but some are actually brand new.
Some we made brand new.
So let's see if you can guess the brand new ones. Let me count these up, and hopefully I get it right this time.
Just before you do that, I brought 2 hooks down to sort of fiddle with. I have a 5mm and a 5.5mm, kind of a negligible difference, but just in case any of you are following along, I'm going to use the 5.5mm, which is an I or a 9, instead of the smaller one, just because I find with a slightly larger hook, if you're experimenting, it gives your tension a little bit of room to either tighten up or loosen up. You can use whatever hook you want when you're making dishcloths. If you crochet loosely, use a smaller hook. If you crochet tightly, use a bigger hook. But gauge isn't important when it comes to dishcloths, and the hook you use isn't really that important. So it's whatever suits. The falling leaf stitch can be worked over a foundation chain row that's any multiple of 3 plus 2 extra chains at the end. So I'm going to chain 26. I think that's what we start with in the tutorial. So that's a nice number for a dishcloth.
Big thank you to Dawn, who has been a member for 21 months. Hi from the UK. Hope you both are well.
Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you.
Yes, we are feeling better. Although I will say,
took a while. If
I run up the stairs, I'm still out of breath for a little while. So now I'm going to blame that on having been sick and not being out of shape because that's my prerogative. But that this still doesn't feel quite right. So. Okay, I've got 26 chains, and I'm single crocheting into the second chain from the hook. And I think I just start single crochet, 2 double crochet, or do I start? Yeah, no. So single crochet, 2 double crochet into the second chain from the hook. Let's go. Skip 2, single crochet, 2 double crochet into the next chain. So this is, I got to remind myself, I haven't done the little falling leaf stitch in a little while. So skip 2 chains, single crochet, 2 double crochet, all into the same stitch. So every 3rd stitch, you're working a little leaf, which is single crochet, 2 double crochet. So that's what I'm working all the way across. And then I think you end with the last leaf, skip 2 stitches, and you double crochet, or you should say you single crochet into the last stitch. So I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. But this is experiment day. Oh, I love dishcloths. I love making new dishcloths. They're so satisfying. They're a short little project. You can experiment. You can play with colors. And they're super useful. Everybody wants them. You can. I know it sounds so like adult and lame to be like, I brought you dishcloths. I think if somebody had said to me when I was 16, I would have been like, thanks. Now I'm like, thank you. Oh my gosh.
Big hello to Jessica Rabbit, who says, Jessica's been a member for 11 months. Hi, we went to the Beyond Van Gogh exhibit yesterday. Ooh. It was awesome.
Oh, wow.
I'm glad you guys are doing better.
Thank you. Wow, that sounds like an amazing.
Yeah, Beyond Van Gogh. That sounds awesome.
You know what? Let me know, Jessica, if you saw this one. I went to an art exhibit once, and there was some Van Gogh there, and I think the painting was called Man in Field. And I was a teenager. I wound up standing and staring at Man in Field. I don't even know how long for. Half an hour, an hour? I'm not even sure. I was completely mesmerized. I love Van Gogh's work. It is really. It
could have been 3 days.
It could have been 3 days. It was absolutely mesmerizing. He paints with a knife. If someone can find it on the internet and take a look at it, please do that. It looks amazing. It's a very small little painting. It was kind of beautiful and sad and grotesque all at the same time, which Van Gogh. Beautiful sky. It was a little bit of a grassy lawn with a little house on it, and there was a man kind of moving through the painting. It's from what I remember, but I remember specifically the man. And the man, the way he was painted with all those little knife strokes, he looked broken. He looked like an absolute broken human being. But it was beautiful because there were all these colors in the painting. I was absolutely mesmerized by that painting. Just wondering if that was part of the collection.
We will have to look that up after.
Just quickly, you get to the end of the row, you do skip the last 2 chains, single crochet into the end chain 1 turn, and then you start single crochet, 2 double crochet into the first stitch, skip over 2 stitches, which are double crochets from the previous row, and you continue. Single crochet, 2 double crochet into the next single crochet from the previous row, and that's what tessellates, I love that word, tessellates all those pretty little leaves into each other. So I've gone all the way across. I'm coming back on the second row, and then I'm going to bring in my next color, and this is going to be striped. And then I'm kind of going for a Halloween look, and I'm not, if I'm not completely if I don't completely not love it, then I might add is that even a proper sentence? If I'm not totally in love with it, I will add a little applique too, because you can always make something look on theme by adding a little applique. And in this case, I would probably make one of our little ghost appliques for Halloween. I've got some white cotton, I think, somewhere. I have to go find it. But let's get all these little leaves in. I think I'm going to have to count up here. I started with 26 foundation chains. So that means I should have 8 little leaves, I think. Let me count. So that's my last leaf. Jump over the last 2 stitches, single crochet in the last stitch. And I'm going to drop this color. Let me just count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So 8 little leaves in each row. That's for a foundation chain of 26 chains. So here's what I've got so far. That's the first 2 rows of pattern. I think you can see that pretty well. I know it's purple, but I'm going to change colors now. And we've got a tutorial on this. So if you can't quite see it because our streaming isn't so great, then don't worry. We have a nice clear tutorial that you can follow instead. Okay, I'm going to bring in my other color. So I'm going to start with a slip knot. And I'm going to put that on my hook. And I'm going to chain 1. That's the chain 1 at the end of the row. I'm doing that with the new color. And into that same place. So I'm going to work over top of my short tail just to kind of anchor it. I'm going to single crochet, 2 double crochet into the first stitch with the new color. There we go. Now I wonder. No, I'm just going to carry it up. Okay. Skip 2 stitches, and maybe I'll weave that one in somewhere else. Forget it. I'll weave in that little short tail later. Skip 2 stitches, single crochet, 2 double crochet into the next stitch. So continue that little falling leaf pattern all the way across. Get some stripes going. I assume this will help kind of draw a little bit of attention to the interest of the, oh, did I not put that in the right? I don't think I did. Like I said, experimentation day. 1, 2. I have to skip 2 stitches. I didn't skip 2 stitches. Didn't skip over far enough. Okay, here we go. Single crochet, 2 double crochet into the next stitch. 1 little leaf. And Mr. InStitches, I think we should do a poll.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me read through some of these supers.
Okay.
Supers and members.
Supers and members. Our members are all super. So our subs are all super.
Super subs, super members.
Super subs and members.
So Cheryl is a Vicuña member, 23 months, says, thank you for all the perky fun.
Thank you, Cheryl.
And then we have a membership milestone that was retracted.
Oh.
So I'm not sure who you are, but you might want to try that again.
Wonder how that works.
There's no name and no message.
Curious.
We got a £2 super chat.
Thank you.
From Trina.
Thank you,
Trina
Trina.
says, being with you 18 months, I have enjoyed every moment.
Thank you.
Kissy face.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Sandra, big thank you to Sandra for, I believe that's a super sticker.
Wonderful.
Super chat or super sticker. Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you, Sandra.
And Shari has been a member for 9 months. I am crocheting a winter hat from your tutorial.
Lovely. Well, I'm glad everybody's at least got something on their lap that they're working on. This is what I like to do when I'm watching live streams. I like to kind of keep my hands busy.
Lots of hellos from all over the world, all over the United States.
Hello, everybody. It is
Everyone's chiming in the chat. It's a busy little chat today.
It's good. That's another thing I love about the live streams. Everybody kind of gets a chance to sit and chat with everybody else.
So that's the falling leaves you're doing,
yes,
right?
I'm doing the pretty simple dishcloth, which uses the falling leaves.
Oh, the pretty simple. Yeah. So I've linked that. If you look at the top of the chat, you should see a pinned comment with Jayda Stitch's name. That's the link to that specific tutorial, so you can see it in HD. Widescreen HD.
Widescreen HD. Yes.
And you wanted a new poll.
Yes, I think we should do a poll. Polls are fun. So I am trying to think of a good. It's got to be dishcloth related.
Okay.
Here's a good question. Do you prefer dishcloths that are square or small, circular, double-sided scrubby style dishcloths? Because we've got both, and the answers might surprise you. All right, here I go. There is 4 rows now of the dishcloth done. So the first 2 rows are in purple. Then I switched to that sort of very short self-striping, almost variegated color, which I feel like has a lot of greens and purpley pinks in it, which is why I thought maybe I could kind of get away with turning it into a Halloween-inspired dishcloth. I like that so far. It's got kind of obviously because purple is the big color, because I'm going to alternate between the purple and the rainbow here. It's gonna pull more of that purple effect out. I think that's going to look kind of on theme for the holiday coming. I think it looks good. Okay, so I'm carrying the colors. So this is what I'm doing. This is the purple. It's hard to see because they both wound up being purple right now. But this is the dark purple that I started with. It's down here. This is the other variegated color that I changed to. It just happens to be on light purple right now. And I'm just going to keep kind of carrying them up. So I finished row 4 with my new color. I'm going to drop it, switch back to my purple color, and I'm carrying it up the edge. So what ends up happening, if you can see that, is there's a little string that kind of goes up the edge. I'm going to make sure that I don't pull too tightly because I don't want to pinch the edge. But I'm just going to gently carry the colors up. They're all going to wind up on the same side. And then when I put on my little border, I'm going to crochet right over top of them all. They'll completely disappear. So I'm dropping the other color now. And let me reverse that.
What were the shapes?
The shapes?
Yeah, you said
a square a square flat dishcloth, kind of like I'm making here today.
Yeah.
Or a small round double-sided scrubby style. So I did chain. Okay, I want the yarn on this side. I do not want to twist my yarn. So let me take my working yarn out.
All right, the poll is going.
Poll is up. So which style do you prefer? Do you prefer the flat dishcloth or do you like the round, scrubby, double-sided scrubby version? I like both. Currently in the sink, I have the round, double-sided scrubby version. Here we go. When you are using multiple colors of yarn, it's always good at the end of every row to sort of stop and make sure that you haven't tangled them up. It means you have to sort of spin your work in the opposite direction. I'd recommend doing that. Otherwise, you wind up with knots and stuff down the road. So back on track. Here we go. I have switched colors and back to my dark purple. So I start with a single crochet and 2 double crochet in the first stitch of the row, skip 2 stitches and repeat. Single crochet, 2 double crochet, and I'm back on working on this little pretty simple dishcloth, Halloween edition.
Okay, so where was I? I think I got to Sherry or Shari. Alicia, been a member for 31 months.
Thank you, Alicia.
Love your positive energy.
Aw, thank you.
Little Lula emoji.
Oh.
Our little Lula. Wendy says, also a channel member, I love this channel. You are both so inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. It's hard to believe sometimes. Especially when I get up and I get out of bed and I'm like, I feel like making dishcloths today. I
like that little color combination in the middle there.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think it also is kind of fun, like the being sandwiched with the dark purple. It kind of calms it down a little bit too.
Yeah, I like that.
I like it too.
That looks great.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. So
is that cotton?
This is cotton.
100%
cotton. I don't make dishcloths.
And what's the hook size?
I'm using a 5.5 millimeter.
5.5.
Also known as an I or a 9, but you can really use whatever hook you want. It depends on your tension. Gauge doesn't matter when it comes to dishcloths, which is another reason I love them. You don't have to fret over.
The best practice tool is a dishcloth.
Yes. Yeah, you want to, and the same thing goes for all that Tunisian stuff. I know some people were saying, oh, I don't think I can handle the whole blanket, and I don't want to, that's a lot of Tunisian, and it's a lot up front, and I it hurts, blah, blah. Yep. Yeah. I hear you. But a lot of folks decided they were going to make dishcloths, like just to do the little samplers, and sure. I think you can even go smaller than that. Mm-hmm. You can make even smaller little squares. Whenever in the videos you see me sort of showing the little sampler, I always recommend doing a sampler of any stitch pattern, but especially the Tunisian, because I feel like it really kind of helps get you into the groove. But if you make a little sampler that's like, say, 10 chains by 10 rows, and then put a little tiny border on it, that is a perfect little scrub size. It's about the end of your fingers, and you can use it on your face. You can use it on dishes or whatever. It's like a little mini scrub pad. Great. You can whip up a whole pile of them in no time, and they are handy. So
I'm going to link our playlist. We have a playlist with all of our washcloths and scrubbies and dishcloths.
Yeah, we've done a lot.
Yeah, there's around 14 or more tutorials.
Once again,
so I'll link the playlist. So if anyone wants to check those out in the future.
Yeah, you can kind of peruse them.
Yeah.
I'm using the pretty simple dishcloth pattern, and it's the falling leaf stitch that we used in it. That's the one I'm using today. I figured I would start with that one because I use the falling leaf stitch for so many things. I really like it. Mm-hmm. I thought that it would be a good base pattern to experiment with some color changing. I love this. I think this looks really neat. That looks like a sandwich.
Ice cream sandwich.
Ice cream sandwich. Okay, so that's 2 rows of the dark purple. I'm going to switch back now to the variegated color. So I'm pulling tight on that. Every time you change colors and you're not fastening off, remember that when you make the next stitch with the new color, just pause and take the old color and tug on it. Not too much, but just you don't want a great big gappy, stitchy loop there.
We have a super chat. This is from Amy,
Hi,
who's
Amy.
also a channel member. I can see the badge.
Woohoo! Thank you, Amy.
Amy says, I am going to make a mermaid tail blanket for a couple Christmas gifts.
Oh.
What would you suggest for type of yarn and stitch? Thank you for everything the two of you do. Watching makes me smile.
Aw, thank you. Those are okay. So the mermaid blankets, the princess blankets, the sandwich blankets, all those things that are like basically a two-sided blanket that you sort of shimmy into on the couch. They're big projects. So what you want to do is select a stitch that is so brainless that you can do it in your sleep, because you're going to be doing it quite a bit. And if you have to, for whatever reason, do any kind of shaping like you might with the mermaid tail blanket, then you want it to be easy to decrease or increase if necessary. Also, it's helpful if like you're just going to do some cinching that it cinches nicely. So since it's a mermaid, you kind of want maybe it to look a little bit scaly, I guess. Is that a word we'd use for mermaids? I humbly suggest the falling leaf stitch because it's quick. It's a 1-row repeater. It cinches nicely if you have to. If you need to decrease, you can.
It also kind of looks like scales.
It also kind of does look a little scaly.
The colors, right?
Because it kind of leans one way and then the other. The Paris stitch, also known as the Drunken granny stitch, is also a 1-row repeater. Very simple. It leans. It also looks like scales. And the triangle trains stitch. We did the triangle train stitch as part of the Victorian stitch sampler blanket. Also leans, and it can also look, it's also a 1-row repeater, very simple, and it also kind of has a bit of a scaly look. So those are some fun patterns. You can also just use half double crochet if you want to just be completely quick about it and not really think about it. But those are kind of fun patterns, so it kind of keeps you a bit interested, but it's not difficult, and you don't have to really sit there and sort of count very much. And of course, the shell stitch. You can always use the shell stitch too. But if you're bored of that, then those other 3 patterns might be a little more fun. And as far as yarn is concerned, half the blanket will be getting sat upon, and the other half of the blanket will probably have like arms and pillows and things moving across it. So you want a yarn that can stand up to being snuggled harshly.
Hardcore snuggling.
Hardcore snuggling. Harsh snuggling. I typically use a lot of acrylic for my blankets, but acrylic blends, like an acrylic wool blend, an acrylic cotton blend, an acrylic polyester blend, that might be good. If the couple has like any kind of, I want to say fiber sensitivities, then I would get to know what those are first before you go and pick all your yarn out. And maybe if you can get something that's anti-pilling. There's a lot of new acrylics on the market that are anti-pilling, and that just basically stops them from getting all roly-poly and looking kind of tired long before they should. So yeah. Oh, and also make sure that it's something that can wash. Like if they want to just toss it in a cool, gentle cycle and that, let it tumble dry, then I would pick a yarn that does that. Typically, those are the acrylic and the acrylic blends. So yeah, I hope that helps. That's I
hope so.
And you got to get started on that. That's a big project.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Mm-hmm. Blankets always are, but any blanket that isn't like just a straightforward back and forth that requires a little bit of shaping or thinking or whatever, that adds time to the project. So
Catherine, one of our subscribers, says, I'm looking forward to the next square in the blanket.
It's tomorrow.
That is coming tomorrow for everyone following along with the Totally Tunisian blanket.
Yes.
That'll be tomorrow around 10:30. That should publish.
I'm not going to say it's my favorite because I know I say that every month.
You say that every single video.
But I do love this stitch.
The truth is everything's Jayda's favorite because it's crochet and yarn related. So it's like, it's all her favorite.
Pretty much. Well, okay. I'm hardly going to pick a stitch for an ongoing, year-long project that I don't like. Oh, I hate this stitch. This stitch is so annoying. I'm going to add this one. This is the project.
I'm going to make a giant blanket.
I'm going to make a whole blanket out of this.
We have a membership milestone from Denise.
Hi, Denise.
Says, thank you for all that you do. Jayda and Mr. InStitches love being able to spend some time with you all and the InStitches family.
Well, thank you. Thank
you for your support. Thank you for everyone's support. Appreciate it.
I'm just happy that any of you are here. To be perfectly honest, we have kind of crazy schedules, so it's really wonderful that we are able to kind of just sit and hang out for lunch. I've always loved to do things on my lunch break. That has been something consistent throughout my entire life. As a kid in high school, I would sit and knit or crochet or sew on my lunch break. I would do cross stitch. I would do embroidery. I would do quilting. I would sit at the lunch table. I would sit in the library. I would sit in the home ec room, and I would do some kind of handicraft. Same thing when I went off to university. Same thing when I got my first job. If it's my lunch break, I am seated with my, yarn or my fiber art in my lap. So I have this long tradition of loving to spend my lunch hours doing this, and now I get to spend it with you guys. So that makes me happy.
So we have 114 votes so far.
Okay.
Poll. Should we give everyone another 5 minutes?
Give everyone another minute. Let's say
another minute. All right, taking part in the poll. Make sure you cast your vote.
Yes. Do you like to use?
What is your favorite dishcloth style?
Yes.
The square flat or the small? Of course, there's other versions.
Yes.
But in this case, square flat, small round, double-sided, scrubby.
And I have to say, I would say, what is your favorite style? That could either be to use or to make, because.
Oh, yeah, to use or to make.
So there's 2, 4, 6, 8 rows completed so far. I've got a nice little rectangle going.
I'm liking this one. I might have to use this.
That's really pretty.
Yeah.
I like that. I like how this is turning out. Boy, it is. If you compare
experiments,
how this looks compared to the use of this exact same multicolored yarn in the shell stitched market bag we just did, it's 2 completely different colors. It's amazing. It's amazing what you can get effect wise with color. It's just wild. All right, I'm switching back to my other solid purple now. So here I go. I'm going to just grab that purple and it's just chain, turn, and continue with the pattern. And I'm just carrying the color up the edge. Actually, you know what? Let me give you a good look at what that looks like right now. So here is the edge. This is the edge where the colors are being carried. There's a little bit of a yarn here. There's a little bit of a yarn here. There's a little bit of a yarn here. You can kind of see it when I pull up on it. Those lie against the edge of the dishcloth, and it's only on the one side. So when I go and I do the border, I'm just going to do a little single crochet border. I will make sure that I'm single crocheting over top of those little loose carried edges, and then they will completely blend into the whole thing. You won't see them. So that's why I knew I could carry colors up the one side. If you were getting if you were really switching colors like every row and you were doing it one on either side, same thing. You would still have a carry, but it would be like every other row, and they might be slightly longer. I don't know, it depends. So you'd still want to put on a border and make sure you were single crocheting over top of those little carry tails.
Our channel member Vima is in the house today.
Hey, Vima!
In the digital home.
In the digital home.
Vima says, "Hi, Jayda. So great to see you looking gorgeous as always. Love you so much."
Boy, we can't ever get 4K streaming capability because everybody will see what I actually look like.
We will never upgrade our internet. That way Jayda looks gorgeous for the next 80 years.
You look great for your age. Thanks. Yeah.
It's the blurry internet. It's the blurry streaming. I'm gonna call our internet agent and say, yeah, can we downgrade our internet speed, please? Why? Trying to keep my wife looking good.
What?
Big thank you to Cherry Bee,
hey, Cherry.
Who says in full caps, "Hey, Miss J and General G, glad I made it."
Hi.
Glad you made it too.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's
Jayda's making a dishcloth today.
I'm working on, this is dishcloth number 1.
She's experimenting with a dishcloth.
I'm experimenting. So this is our pretty simple dishcloth pattern. Mr. InStitches linked the tutorial in the top of the chat. We'll also make sure it's in the description box at the end of the stream if it's not already.
I'm also linking our dishcloth playlist.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, because we've done a lot of dishcloths. But this is the falling leaf stitch. Love this stitch so much. And it's easy, but I thought I would experiment by changing colors with this pattern by just carrying a color up the edge. I haven't done it with this pattern before. I wasn't entirely sure how it would look. I have changed colors with the falling leaf stitch before. We did, because I love the stitch, we did our little mini Christmas stocking tutorial I guess it was last
I think it was
Christmas.
last year. Yep.
And we used the falling leaf stitch for that.
And also a set of gloves.
And I think we've done
and a hat.
We've done a headband. We've done gloves. We've done a hat. We did a hat on the live stream. We've done a dishcloth. We've done a big Christmas stocking, the little mini Christmas stocking,
which looks amazing. Actually, that stitch in the Christmas.
It
stocking.
really suits the Christmas stocking.
Yeah, it looks really good.
But in the written pattern for the mini Christmas stocking, we also included instructions on how to change colors every row, which looks different than changing colors every 2 rows, like I'm doing here. And I hadn't done the 2-row color change yet, so I thought I would give that a try today, and I am really enjoying the results. Another nice thing about changing colors when you're making dishcloths is that you use up half of the yarn that you would normally. So for example, if you were going to make 2 dishcloths and you use, say, 50 to 60 yards for the whole dishcloth, then you would only need, let's say, 30 yards of each color to make the dishcloth. So you can get kind of creative with your cotton scraps. Yet again, another reason to do some
experimenting. I think we need another coffee.
Do you need another coffee?
My voice is drying.
Is this? Have I done that already? Wow, that's so fast. Okay, so there's 2 more rows in the solid color. I like this. Also creates a nice bumpy kind of texture. I'm gonna hold it. Let's see if we can see that little texture. Bumpity, 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 bump. That's another reason I love this stitch for dishcloths. Not only is it a nice stitch for clothes and blankets and whatnot, but it creates a nice kind of bumpy texture, which is handy when you're doing dishes. It also suds up nicely too. So God, I love that. That is really pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Okay, changing colors again. I haven't even finished my coffee yet.
Wow, what is wrong with you? Slow poke.
Talking and crocheting.
Slow poke.
I once taught a girlfriend to crochet, and she was trying to quit smoking, and she was like, I just need something to distract me. Okay. So I taught her how to crochet, and she says she realized that she would be so busy trying to figure out what she was doing that the cigarette lit next to her would just be burning away, and she would forget to smoke.
Very healthy.
There you go. See, crochet's good for you.
It's good for your crochet's good for your
good
health.
for your health. All right, I am going to turn this so that I don't have any. Good. Not tangling my yarns. I'm going to change colors back to my pretty variegated color. Or self-striping. I'm not really sure if this is self-striping or variegated. I guess the colors don't change. I guess this is variegated. The colors change just slow enough that I can get 1 or 2 full stitches out of it, which is why I think it looks so nice, as opposed to sometimes when the colors change so quickly that it looks like little dots almost all over your stitch work. Don't mind that either, but I like this effect.
I like it.
Yeah. I think I'm going to do, how many have I done? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I've done 10 rows, so I'll probably do at least 20, maybe 22 rows. We'll see how square it looks. That's another thing with dishcloths. You want to kind of go for a square look. So you can usually just keep repeating the pattern until you have a square look, which is another reason why gauge and tension doesn't matter that much. So I love projects where gauge and tension don't really matter because, you know, you don't have to test the gauge, worry about your tension changing on you throughout the project. I find too, like, you know, if you're cold, if you're working on a big project like a blanket, your tension might vary. So you might be a little tight when you first start, then you warm up and you loosen up, you get comfortable with the pattern, so you move a little faster, so you get a little looser. Then you put it down, you go away. If it's the winter, you come back, maybe your hands are cold. It takes you a while to get back into the swing of things, so maybe you're tight. So the blanket can kind of do this depending on your tension. To counter that, I like to do something like pick up a dishcloth and work a couple rows to warm myself up. And then once I realize that I'm back in the swing of things, I'll put that down and go back to the main blanket.
Do you remember which live stream? Denise is asking which live stream the Falling Leaves hat is in.
Ooh.
I don't remember.
Okay. If you find the Falling Leaves, so the Falling Leaves headband that video happened right about the same time that we did the Falling Leaves hat. And I think
you're talking about the headband from like 3 years ago.
Yeah, so
4 years ago.
So this probably would have, well, then this live stream is about 3 years ago.
4 years ago.
I'm trying to think of what it was called. On the thumbnail is me actually holding the hat, and it's kind of a rusty colored hat with a big white poofy pom-pom on the top.
If you go to our channel homepage,
I really like that hat.
You go to our channel homepage, and then you go to playlists, and you look. We have a playlist called InStitches Family
live streams,
crochet live streams,
or crochet party
live streams, or something like that. And then you can kind of skim through that list, and you should see it. So you're holding the hat in the thumbnail.
Yeah, I'm holding the hat in the thumbnail, and I think. Was it a live stream called something about hat making or making hats or fall projects? No, it wasn't fall projects. I don't remember, but I do remember the thumbnail because I love that hat. And I still have it and I still wear it.
Yeah. You could also go to Google or YouTube and write Jayda and Stitches live stream
Falling Leaves hat.
Falling Leaves hat.
Yeah, and
that might grab it.
I think so, because I think we would have called it we would have named it in the description.
Yeah, I think so.
And then Google should pick up on that.
Or something hat related. Yeah. So it should pop up if you put all those tag words.
And the whole neat point of that is that we had made the Falling Leaves headband, and in the live stream I decided that I was either going to make another head. This is kind of like a repeat of the brick stitch beanie we did a little while ago. I made the beanie tutorial and then was going to make another beanie tutorial or another brick stitch beanie while we were sort of sitting here live, but I ended up turning it into a headband, which I really like. But and that's the inverse of what had happened the last time. We had made the Falling Leaves headband, and then during the live stream, I thought I was going to make either the headband or somehow it turned into an entire hat, because you basically just start it the same way but keep going and then whoop, cinch up the top and stick a pom-pom on it. And I love that hat. It's such a cozy, again, great texture. So it has a really pretty effect in a hat. I should almost make myself another one of those. In fact, I even think I used wool to make that hat. I think I used wool to make that hat, the headband, and the fingerless gloves. I don't use wool very often, but I had this nice kind of, it's wool. It's a nice soft wool, and I usually use acrylic, but sometimes I use wool because wool doesn't bother me too much. And I use wool, I think, for those 2 or those 3 projects, and they turned out really well. Wool stands up too, I notice. I tend to hand wash wool because I don't like putting it in the washing machine because it will often felt on you. So I tend to hand wash all of the wool things that I make, but I don't feel that wool pills as quickly as some acrylics do. I'm sure that has something to do with the processing of the wool. All the wools are not going to be the same, but I find all of the hats, mitts, gloves, things like that I've made out of wool in the past have really held up longer than all of the acrylic stuff. I don't know if you guys have made, a whole bunch of things out of different fibers, then I'd love to know what your experience has been with that, because I feel like the wool holds up longer. Maybe just me. I'm not sure. Oh my gosh, I'm done again. That's another 2 rows finished. I am flying along here. I'm not even really paying attention.
Like there's 2 of you. One's talking and the other's crocheting. Would you like to hear the results of the poll?
Yes, I would love to.
So we got 152 votes came in.
Thanks, everyone.
And the question was, what is your favorite dishcloth style? And we have a whopping 82% for square flat.
Square flat.
And 17% for the small round double-sided scrubby.
Okay.
Someone mentioned earlier, it depends on what I'm washing. That makes sense.
Does depend on the task.
Yeah.
I will say, this is something I wanted to remember to mention. I've made I made dozens of dishcloths, but I know I made one. I don't remember if I made it while we were all hanging out live, one year. I don't remember, but it was made using the red and blue version of this Scrub Off. I think this is called Scrub Off by it's Bernat Scrub Off. It's the Handicrafter Scrub Off. So it's part smooth cotton, part bumpy cotton. And I've got 3 balls of this, and one of them was red and blue. And I've made several things out of the red, blue, white ball. Because I really liked the look of that. It felt kind of like it could have been Christmas. It felt like it could have been the summer. It kind of, those colors kind of go with a whole bunch of different themes. And I don't remember if I made this dishcloth while I was hanging out with everybody or not, but I think I made it using the double crochet stitch, and I made it really large. It's like 9 inches square, and I was using it the other day, and I realized it's too big. I think that's too big for a dishcloth. It was flopping around on me. I realized with the RA, I have trouble like wringing things out, and I can't squeeze as tightly as I used to be able to. But I just found it was too big. It got too heavy. And I thought, because I tend to go for 8-inch or smaller when I make dishcloths, but some people I know like them bigger. But that was a bigger one, and I made a bigger one, and I thought, no, this is just too big. So I think I'm going to stick to my 8-inch or smaller. That's sort of the magic size for me. But that's another thing I'd like to know. Like, is that, like, does size matter for you guys?
Oh, hey, this is a family-friendly crochet channel. You filter that mouth, Missy.
Does dishcloth size matter? Let me rephrase that.
The size matters. That's the next poll. The size matter. Overwhelmingly, I don't know. I'm not even going to answer that. So, changing the subject, I would like to shout out Elle, who had, I guess this would be a re-welcome. A re-welcome to Elle. Thank you for your support.
Hi, Elle. Welcome back. Oh my gosh. Yes, just in time for all the absolutely questionable.
We're getting some answers in the chat, of course.
Sure we are.
Well, I'm not reading them out loud. They can stay there quiet in the chat.
You guys are great. Oh my God. How else do you ask that question?
Chat full of ladies? Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, well, I mean,
YouTube's gonna be all over the censorship of this one. Censor.
This is not applicable for all ages. We're talking about dishcloths. What?
Let's see here. Leslie, 13 months, Alpaca member.
Hi, Leslie.
Okay, size, LOL. I love you guys. Everyone's having a good laugh.
Good. Well, that's the whole point. I don't know how else to ask that question.
We're getting some detailed answers here that I am not going to read out.
Who knew?
Moving on.
You know what? This is great. All the uninitiated will be like, a live stream on Dishcloth is past. Meanwhile, it's the most like explicit live stream ever. Oh my gosh.
It has like photographic, it's got photos in the tutorial, comparisons.
I mean, we're talking about dishcloths.
We're talking about dishcloths here. All right? Dishcloths.
Well, let's see. What are they?
Well, as long as everyone's having a good laugh.
What did they say about laughter? It adds years back onto your life or something, or it's good for everything.
It's good for your body. It gets things moving and shaking. Hey, Elle sent us a super chat.
Thank you, Elle.
Elle says, new iPhone off sick from work.
Oh.
Glad to catch up.
Hey, well, that's
Hey,
nice.
well,
Sorry you're off sick, but
off sick. but
welcome.
At least you're home chilling.
yeah, at least you're home. That's the best.
You got
place
your
to be.
feet up and a nice hot drink.
Yes, nice hot tea.
We're still
Tea
recovering.
with lemon.
But
Laughing hard makes me want to
a
cough.
lot better.
Yeah.
Getting our energy back.
Mhm.
Super sticker from Kimberly.
Thank you, Kimberly.
It's the little. If you look at the screen there, you can see the little fox.
Our little fox.
That's a fox.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, that's a
It's
fox.
cute.
It's so cute.
Um,
Is it a fox or corgi?
It could be a corgi, but I'm guessing fox.
It's cute, whatever it is.
Yeah, cute little critter. Sakura Sue, 38 months,
Hey,
silk
Sue.
member. Sakura says, "Happy fall, y'all!" With
Happy
our little
fall.
jack-o'-lantern emoji.
Yay!
And Monica sends us a $2 super chat.
Thank
who
you,
is
Monica.
Also a channel member. Thank you so much for
Thank
your
you.
support, everyone. How about a pattern for a matching dish towel?
Yes, absolutely.
What's the pattern of the dish towel that we have already?
We do not have a dish towel.
No, we do. We have a.
dish.
Many years ago, we did a tutorial of a hand towel.
No.
The one that you kind of hook up. You know what? It was the hook to hang the towel.
Yes. I know we don't have any.
We
dish
don't
towels.
actually have a hand towel.
Yeah. Absolutely. I will.
That's a great idea.
Put a little thought into that.
Mhm.
Typically, if you want them to be a little bit larger, okay, here goes the conversation back to size. No way around this. What the size of a good dish towel? So I've got dish towels that really range. I find that we've got some that if you lay them down on the counter, they'll cover the counter from back to front, and others that are like just a bit shorter than that. Some of them are more narrow, some of them are wider. What's a good size for a dish towel? That's a good question.
Well, I can grab one of the kind of typical ones we have.
Well,
what are they? About.
That's the point. I mean, like
14 inches
they all kind
wide
of vary a little
by
bit.
20 inches long, roughly. They're usually rectangular.
Mm-hmm.
Some are bigger than others. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get some answers.
Yeah, you know what? In the chat, whatever you guys think a standard or a typical or a preferred dishcloth size is, and oh, here we really go. Are we going to make a difference between, say, the dishcloth and the hand towel that are in the kitchen? Because I feel like hand towels are probably a little smaller, but often a little thicker than the dish towels. The dish towels are usually a little thinner because you have to be able to get into corners when you're drawing something, and maybe a little bigger. I don't know that there's a standard sizing. I know that there's a general, like, you know what the sort of general sizing is, but I'm going to guess it varies a bit. But I would love to hear, because I bet you it changes depending on where you are too. Anybody's anybody who's got some actual measurements, I'd love to hear them.
If that comes in.
But yeah, let's do a matching hand dish.
I think that's
towel.
a great idea. So the dishcloth and then the matching towel.
Yes.
So I mean, you would make it maybe 4 to 6 times what that size you're doing now.
I don't know. That's why I think I'm going to do a little thinking
do.
about the sizes, because
like picture 6 of those dishcloths.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be about the size of a dish towel.
I'm also thinking, like, I'm thinking about the thickness of the stitch. I'm thinking about, there's a handful of things that you might want to vary a little bit just to make it more of a light, quick drying thing. That's another thing. Dish towels kind of are designed to dry quickly, right? I would say. I mean, ours do.
They are. Some are better than others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some are lighter than others. That's another thing. I love dish towels. As becoming an adult, I've discovered that I've got like a love for.
I'm dish towel obsessed.
Dish towels, tablecloths.
I know the good ones versus the not good ones. I know the ones that like get soaked fast and don't dry, and then the ones that take on too much water.
Yes.
And then the ones that take on a little and dry quick.
Or it beads up off them, and you're like, what's the point of this?
Some of them, it's like you dry your hand once and the whole thing's sopping wet, and you're like, well, what good are you? I'm very picky about my dish towels.
You are. He's not kidding. He really is obsessed with dishcloths, dish towels, hand towels. This isn't a good one.
Hey, we've got a lot of super chats and stickers to get to here. So let me see if where I left off. So we got to Monica, right? Matching dish towels.
Yes.
So
remember, Monica, I got to write that down.
Yeah, write it down. So a matching dish towel.
I've been meaning to make one of those for quite a while, so
yeah, I think
let me get on that.
Crystal sends us a super sticker, $5. Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you, Crystal.
It is how's it going? And a little pear dude.
How's it going?
lying down.
We're having quite the.
Sakura Sue sent us a $2 super sticker.
Thank you, Sue.
And it's the little, shy giggling pair. We know what that's all about. The dishcloths. Size matters. We all know size matters when it comes to dishcloths.
I'll spit stuff through my nose here.
Sherry sent us a €5 super chat. Thank you, Sherry. Another $5 from Sakura.
Oh my gosh, guys, thank you.
The giggling fox. We're making everyone blush in the chat today.
That's fine. We're allowed to do that.
Elle is back with a $2 super chat.
Thank you, Elle.
Elle asks, what pattern are we doing today?
This is the falling leaf stitch. It is the pretty simple dishcloth tutorial that we had a few years ago. I think Mr. InStitches pinned it at the top. I don't know if it's still pinned up there.
There is a link pinned at the top of the chat to that tutorial.
It is, it's probably one of my favorite stitches to do. And it's probably my current favorite dishcloth. And Monica's right. We need to have a matching dish towel. I just can't believe I haven't gotten around to that yet. That'll be a good one for another poll. I think I've got an idea for another poll.
Okay.
Yes. So let's say I'm going to design a.
You're making me earn my cup of coffee today.
If I'm going
Jayda pays me in coffee cups.
Coffee cups and video games.
Yeah. But I have to put in a formal request.
There's a purchase order.
Either approved or denied a stamp.
Poll. Dish towel. Should it be themed? Like, since we're heading into the holiday season, or should it just be kind of flexible?
Well, weren't we talking about having it the same stitch?
Well, yeah. it can be the same stitch.
I see what you mean.
Should we go with a theme?
Themed?
Like,
or
just kind of,
So themed as in, like,
we've got a
character, game,
certain time in mind, or time of year.
Season.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Or
right.
or just
here it comes.
plain.
Dish towel. New dish towel. Are we gonna do a tutorial?
Yeah. We've got to do a tutorial to make it done. We've been asked multiple times, and I keep meaning to get around to it.
Dish towel tutorial.
I don't. I get all these other ideas.
Soon. And when I say soon, I don't actually mean soon, but we'll see.
We'll see how. Yeah, we have
a few projects planned.
We've got a handful of things coming.
All right, so there we go. The poll is up.
Okay.
Everyone cast your votes, and I would like to get to. I also want to let Elle know that we have the playlist for dishcloths. So if there's anything else. I'm going to link the playlist for dishcloths. Okay, so we got another super chat from Wendy.
Thank you, Wendy.
Wendy is also a channel member. Wendy says, you guys are great. LOL, the only advice for improvement that I could possibly give is more live streams.
Thanks. We try to squeeze them in as often as we can. It's
Yeah, we do.
I can't believe how fast the days go by.
We're going to attempt. We're planning on trying to do them more regularly.
Yes.
But it's going to be a little while. But we are.
It's in the pipeline.
It's in the pipeline. We're looking into that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, so we'll let everyone know.
All right. I've done 18 rows of the repeating pattern. I would say that's pretty square.
That looks amazing.
Here's the other thing I like. I started with the dark purple. I finished with the dark purple. I think I'm going to do the whole border in the dark purple, and that will unify the whole thing.
Yep, I like that.
So I'm going to snip off the multicolored yarn. I'm going to leave a nice long tail, and I'm going to just work over top of it. I don't think it's going to come undone. But you know what? Just to be safe, I will make a little knot, just a tiny little knot. I'll just knot it around. I'll just knot it around one of the edges here, just so that it doesn't want to come undone. And then when I'm crocheting over top of it, it'll just blend in. So one little knot. And then, so there we go. There's my little tiny little knot. Oops, come here, you. All I did was just knot it around the little edge loop, and kind of loosey-goosey, but that's okay. And then I'm just going to crochet right over top of that tail. And I'm going to just single crochet around the whole thing. So I'm going to start working down the edge. The edge there's 18 rows. I'm probably going to work 20. You know what? There was 26 chains. There's technically 25 stitches across the bottom. There'd be 25 stitches across the top. 3, 6, 9, 12, blah, 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 25. So I'm going to do 25 single crochet down the side. I'm going to fit 25 single crochet down the side, just so it kind of matches the top and the bottom. That's the attempt anyway. So again, it's experiment day. And here we go. A
big thank you to Kimberly.
Hey, Kimberly.
Who sent us a super chat.
Thank you.
$5 and is also a channel member.
Thank you very much, Kimberly.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And Elle is back with another super chat.
Thank you, Elle.
Elle says cotton or poly?
Cotton. This is all cotton. I do have some. What is this stuff? This is that scrubby. What is this? Is this polyester? Yeah, this one's 100% polyester. I had some yellow. I think we did a live stream on this too. I was experimenting with it. I made a dishcloth out of the yellow. I found it difficult to crochet with unless you're using a much bigger hook. Because it's difficult to see your stitches. I like the sound of it tapping on the workspace. It does scrub, so it scrubs, but it doesn't absorb any water. So you've got a pro and a con with that, with the polyester. This does not absorb water. So if you're scrubbing, that's great. It brings up enough water while you're working in the sink. But you can't really get it wet, wring it out, and then wipe down your counters or anything with it because it doesn't really hold any water. That's a con in that regard. But it's a pro because it doesn't hold any water. So when you finish using it and rinse it and then let it dries relatively quickly, and it's not going to retain water. So it's not going to get, dirty or smelly maybe as quickly as another dishcloth might. My mother-in-law really likes this stuff for dishcloths. She made a ton of them, and she uses them in the sink almost exclusively. So she really likes the polyester scrubber stuff. But I didn't find I liked it as much as the cotton. I think I preferred the old school cotton. You get it wet, you wring it out, you wipe down your counter, stuff like that. So I prefer the cotton. But I know other people have mentioned in the past that they pair one strand of this alongside a strand of cotton, and those two play together nicely. Yeah. And you get sort of the scrubbiness of this stuff alongside the soft water absorbingness of the cotton. So I haven't made one of those yet, but I love the idea. It makes a lot of sense. So I do have the polyester, but this one is all cotton. And because this is a dark color, I'm going to wash it first before I use it, probably a couple times just to make sure that none of the dye comes out. Excuse me.
We have a new member, Nancy. Welcome, and thank you for joining.
Hi, Nancy. Welcome. Thank you.
And, oh my goodness, Patty sent us a super sticker.
Thank you, Patty.
Of a snoozing little face.
Aww. That sounds nice. Little afternoon snooze.
A little afternoon snooze.
All right, I'm not really counting here. I'm just trying to make sure that this is not too tight as I work single crochet down the edge, but I'm going to count them up in a second and see where I'm at. So that's another thing, again, I love about making dishcloths. If you're putting on a border, all you're going for is not a pinched edge. You're going for like a relatively straight across edge. So let's see how many single crochet I've got here so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 16, 17, 18, 19. I've got 19. I'll be putting in 20. So instead of 25, I got 20. Works for me. I'm going to do the same thing up the other side.
Kim made it to the live stream today.
Hey, Kim.
Kim sent us a $2 super chat.
Thank you.
And Kim is also a channel member, 7 months.
Yes.
Hello, Kim, and thank you for your support.
Welcome, welcome.
And Care Bear sent us a fist bumping exercise pair. €3. Thank you for the super sticker.
Thank you. Fist bumping. I like that.
Yeah, fist bump.
All right. Got a little bit of a twist here. Here we go. Okay, back at it. I am single crocheting across the bottom. This is I'm making sure that I get each of the chains from the foundation chain row. So there's the very obvious one that you work into that's got the single crochet and the 2 double crochets in it, but then there's 2 more. So you don't want to miss those as you work across the bottom. You'll have about 25 stitches in total across the bottom. But again, doesn't really matter. Stitch count isn't super important with dishcloths so long as they're, square-ish. Got a little bit of a tangle here. Let's do this the other way.
So, how's our little poll doing here?
Yes.
We have 104 votes.
Okay.
So let's give everyone a couple more minutes, and then we will end that poll. So if you were to choose the next dish towel tutorial that we get to,
is it themed?
Would you like to see a themed dish towel or a classic?
Just a plain old
style
flexible dish towel. Plain old flexible dish towel.
Plain old flexible.
I mean, yeah.
Sure. Flexible would be helpful.
Flexible's good.
You could try a board, but I don't know if that would work well.
Cup board? Oh. All right, here I go up the other side. So single crochet, I'm going to try and get about 20 up this side to mimic the other side. I don't have to worry about single crocheting over top of any of those little carried yarns because they were only on the one side. They're not on this side. Come here, you. All right. Yeah, that's square enough. I've got a couple of little scrappy bits to weave in. This is pretty. This is a very pretty dishcloth. I like it.
I like it a lot. It looks like a little bit like stained glass.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Kind of makes me think of that. And when you hold it straight up at the camera, it looks like waves, like ocean waves or little fins, stitch. Like little shark fins. I like it. I would call it the shark fin stitch.
I'm sure there is a shark fin stitch.
There probably is.
Or somebody's called something else a shark fin stitch.
Yeah, something else.
That's a something else stitch. It gets when people kind of it's hard.
Welcome to the internet.
Yeah, welcome to the internet. Yeah. Okay, so I'm at the top. I'm going to go across. So I'm going to work. That's a single crochet in there. Yeah, there we go. So that's a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. So I'm doing single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in the corners, kind of like the borders we're putting on our Tunisian squares. So that's the other side. That's the bottom. That's the first side. I think I may have worked a few more extra single crochet into the second side, but who cares because it's still square. And then I will single crochet across the top. And do you guys use the hangers? I sometimes include a little hanger, like a little built-in hanger on the dishcloths. Because I guess pot holders typically have a little hanger. And in my head, I'm thinking, well, if you want to hang up the dishcloth to let it dry, or you want to hang your pot holder sort of so you can see it because it's cute, or you get it up off the counter and put it up on the wall. Do you guys use that? You know, when you've got a pot holder or a dishcloth with a little hanger on it, do you use that or do you typically not? I'm just realizing that I don't often hang the dishcloths, even when they've got, like if I've built a little hanger into them, we don't typically hang them. I think I will just do a hanger-less dishcloth this time. Single crochet, chain one, slip stitch to the first single crochet. That finishes that off. Snip yarn, fasten off, weave in tails. Here we go. So I've got one tail here, got one tail here. And give me one moment and we will take a look together at how this worked out. I like it. I think this one's really pretty. I don't know that it's necessarily Halloween-y. I think, like, you know, in a pinch, if I was trying to completely theme dress the kitchen for like a Halloween party, I could probably use this one because it's got all that nice purple and green in it. But I could add a little applique to it. I have to go find my white yarn, so maybe I'll do that later. Excuse me, still a little funny.
Some people use the hanger. Some people drape them over the
crossbar of the sink.
Either the crossbar of the sink or the top itself.
Yeah, the top. Yeah, I do that. I find if you live in an area that has really hard water, like we do, whatever you do, it doesn't seem to matter. You end up with all kinds of hard water stains. But if you always, wherever you always drape your dishcloth, it has fewer, I guess, because it doesn't dry as quickly in that spot. I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is coming together nicely. Okay. Just weaving in my last little tail. Oh, I love the way this texture feels. The cotton, it's so funny. The cotton yarn, it feels nice. I can sort of grab it and squish it, and it feels like nice cotton yarn. But then you weave it into this little magical stitch, and all of a sudden it feels like cotton, but it feels like additionally like something else. Like you can feel the texture too. A little bit more. There we go.
So I'm going to end the poll. We have 128 votes.
Very good. One dishcloth, no matter how you look at it. I like it. I like it a lot. So that was, for reference, a chained foundation of 26. Each row had 8 little falling leaves in it. And I did 18 rows in total. So I changed color every 2 rows. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. 18 rows of the pattern stitch. I changed colors every other row. So I carried the colors up one side. I single crocheted over top of it, excuse me, so you can't see the little carried lines. I'll post a nicer photograph of this after the live stream to the community post. So you can all see it in a better photograph. I love this because now it's double-sided. So it doesn't matter what side you're looking at. It's the right side, right side. They're both the right side. And then I put a little single crochet border around it. So that one is ready to be used. Now, is this Halloween-y enough? Like, could I get away with that in a kitchen that had a Halloween kind of like party going on? Does that feel Halloween-y, or does that just feel more kind of festive in general? I like that rainbow, but I was kind of hoping that the purple would tone it down and make it look a little more purple and green. I don't know. I can't really tell. I like it though. It's very pretty. All right.
I love it.
That's one done.
It looks like a stained glass window to me.
It does look like a stained glass.
Yeah, like the light's coming through the colored part.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it too. It's pretty. I could make a handful of these.
I might steal that from
you. Might. The other one I wanted to try today, I wanted to experiment a little bit more with some Tunisian stitches because I like making little mini scrubbers. So I was planning on making one or two little ones. So this is the main dishcloth. I used the falling leaf stitch. That's our pretty simple dishcloth tutorial pattern. I love this so much. And now I've used two colors. I think it looks even prettier. You can really see that kind of like effect that the color gets when you change colors every couple of rows. So that's really neat. I like that a lot. Okay. As promised, I will post a photograph of that in the community post a little later so you can see it a little more clearly. And then maybe you can give it a try yourself.
We'll
put that to the side.
We'll link the tutorial.
Now, Tunisian. So I'm going to try.
Oh my goodness.
A smaller version.
You got the energy for another round?
Are you kidding? I mean, unless everybody's got to be somewhere, I don't need to.
Well, let's put it to a vote.
Do you guys want to keep going?
Should we end the live stream or continue the live stream?
Do you want to end or do you want
if we're continuing, I need a hot drink because my
yeah.
my
you can.
voice is going.
You want to get the coffee going?
Yes. Let's see what everyone votes.
Sure.
I hope everyone votes shut it down. I'm just teasing, of course. Let's see. Continue, that means stop. Keep going, that means end it. Continue, so everyone's speaking in code here. Keep going, that means stop, please. Continue, that means end the live stream. Okay. It sounds like everyone wants us to end it.
You are such a bum.
It sounds like everyone wants us to shut it down and come back another day. Yep, that's what I'm reading here. More, that means less.
It's always opposite.
Continue, please.
Okay, all right.
Translate continue.
All right, all right. Why don't you go make yourself a cup of coffee?
That means I've had enough.
Stop trolling everybody.
And please let us go.
Please let us go.
All right. Obviously, everyone wants Jayda to continue making dishcloths.
More dishcloths it is, my friends.
So let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm going to get the coffee going.
Yes, I could probably use another.
I was, of course, joking and teasing everybody. Wait a sec.
Okay.
Let me get to some first. Before I make coffee.
A word from our sponsors.
A word from our sponsor today is the Jayda InStitches Crochet Pattern Etsy shop.
Oh, yeah.
Please support the show by purchasing a pattern in our Etsy shop.
It's our little ad insert.
Yeah, that's our little mid-roll ad.
You know what? Don't go over there yet. We'll put the dishcloths on sale.
Yeah. Don't
just wait.
I was gonna suggest that like 20 minutes ago.
We'll put the dishcloths on sale.
All right.
So don't go yet.
Yeah. So we'll put after the stream. We'll put all of our dishcloths on sale.
Yes. Dishcloth sale.
Yeah.
We'll do that. Okay. So go ahead, Mr.
So wait till the show's over and we have some time to set that up.
Sure.
So the pool.
The pool.
New dish towel tutorial. What would you guys like to see? Themed. Looks like it won with a 59% over classic.
It was close.
Yeah.
Okay.
59 to 40.
Well, we are going to make it to match.
Themed. Now we have to decide on themed seasonal, themed.
Oh, I've already got it figured out.
You do? Okay. Well, don't give it away.
I already have it figured out. I can see it already in my head. But yeah, okay. I made a note, and we will put a dish towel tutorial together relatively soon.
With the
falling leaf stitch. Yeah,
okay.
Specifically with that.
All right. Thank you to Jewel who sent us the measurements of the store-bought dishcloth.
What did she say?
15 by 23 and a half.
15 by 23 and a half. Thank you.
But that's, Yeah.
But that sounds about right, doesn't it?
I was gonna say. I said.
So 15.
I said about 14
now
by.
We're that strange generation here in Canada that can kind of figure out the imperial system versus the metric, because we were taught metric, but our parents knew imperial. So that's about 15, and 23 and a half isn't quite 2 feet.
Yeah.
So
just over.
That does feel like a good height.
Too.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Thank
you for that.
That's awesome. Okay.
Okay, so that's the poll.
All right.
A big thank you to Diane, who has been a longtime channel member. Jayda, you look nice today.
Thank you, Diane. I feel nice today.
You do look nice.
I
have to say that.
I'm wearing a pair of my favorite pants.
Your cozy 90s pants.
I have this pattern that I got in high school, and small flex. I can still wear it. But I got this pattern. I love sewing, and I bought. It was the second pattern I ever bought myself, and it was for, remember back in the early 90s, all you high schoolers, that the MC Hammer pants were like this big. I think they called like parachute pants. They were like the big thing. This is a pattern for those, and at the time, I made myself a couple pairs of these pants out of just the wildest, craziest like pattern fabric. I had 2 pair, and I wore them literally to death. And a couple years ago, I was going through all my old patterns, and I pulled that one out, and I thought, oh my gosh, I remember these pants. These were so comfortable. They have pockets. There's all this room, like you're so comfortable in them all the time. And I had this cotton fabric I didn't know what else to do with, so I made myself a pair, and I thought, hey, these still feel as good as they did back when I was a teenager.
They're very cozy.
They are. They're very cozy. High waist,
There's
it's elastic. They also have like drawstrings. Like they're just the best slouching around.
You kick your legs around while you're walking.
You can sit cross-legged. Yeah, it's nice.
You can do somersaults, cartwheels.
Well, you might do somersaults and cartwheels, but are you going to go make some coffee I
wanted to read out
thinking about
everything
stuff
before I left.
Did you get everybody?
I think so.
Yes. No. Maybe.
Katie!
Hi, Katie.
Katie's here. Katie's also been a long-time channel member.
Mm-hmm.
Katie says, hi, I've updated my stash. Yay.
Good.
Nice earrings, by the way.
Oh, thank you. We did, I think we did these in a live tutorial too.
You want to get a little closer? Little ghosty.
These are our little ghost appliques. So that's the ghost applique pattern. And I made them out of crochet thread and like a 2mm hook, I think. So it's the same pattern, but it's just made with the crochet thread and the little hook. And then you add a little earring top to it, and they make the cutest little earrings, little ghosty earrings. And I love them because they're soft. So they're not, they can kind of bump up against your neck, and they don't catch on anything. They're not cold. I love crochet earrings. I love them. I've made crocheted pumpkins, crocheted sunflowers, crocheted ghosts. I made crochet 5-petal earrings. I've made a whole bunch of crocheted little earrings, and I love them. I wear them all the time. And I get a lot of comments on them, which I think is funny. I could be wearing one of my wild crocheted sweaters, and people kind of, like they don't want to admit that I'm standing next to them. But if I've got my crocheted earrings on, they always kind of comment. So I don't know, maybe it's the little tiny details. I think people kind of get a kick out of that. They're neat looking. All right, back to dishcloths. I'm going to have a cup of coffee. Yeah, I can feel I can still feel it. Yeah.
Throat? Yeah, me too.
So another hot coffee would be useful, I think. I'm going to use my larger Tunisian hook today. I think this is a 6mm. Could be a 6.5. I haven't got my measuring tape, so I don't really know. Once again, doesn't matter because it's a dishcloth. So I'm going to use the bigger one just so I can kind of be loosey-goosey with my tension. I'm going to do color changing. So I like the way that worked out. I like the way this looked. So I like the way this wound up looking, switching between 2 colors. So now I'm going to try a Tunisian pattern, and I'm going to switch between 2 colors as well. I'm thinking I'm going to do the basket weave stitch because it's already kind of an interesting texture. What is it? 2 or 3. What did we do in the tutorial? 2. You know what? I have my computer right here. I will check. I've been experimenting with different Tunisian stitches lately, so I can't remember from one week to the next what I've done. All right, we did 2 or 3. 3 or 2. 3. 3 and 3. Okay. 3 stitches for 3 rows. Got it. All right. So I'm going to stick with that. That's the basket weave Tunisian stitch. Obviously, when you're experimenting, you can get different effects. When I was working on the basket weave Tunisian square, I was trying 2 and 2. I was trying 4 and 4, but 3 and 3 seemed to be the magic fit. Unlike the rib stitch, which I think was 2 and 2. So, all right, I'm going to use the basket weave. I'm going to change colors every 3 rows. That makes sense. And that means I'm going to have, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what side, how many rows, because the yarn will always be coming from the same side. Magic of Tunisian. Okay, now we get to pick colors. So I did one that I thought this was going to be kind of Halloween-y. It's not. It's not really. It's just pretty. If I added a ghost applique, though, see? If I add a little ghost applique, maybe to the corner. There we go, right to the corner. That would make it look Halloween-y, right?
I think so.
I might do that. I don't know. I'll see. The afternoon is long. It stretches out ahead of me. I might add an applique. We'll see. Okay, let's do Christmas, maybe? I've got a solid red, nice bright color, and I've got a red variegated, or like a Christmassy variegated, but I've also got this nice green and white one. So I'm thinking green, white, and red. That's very Christmassy. Is that too crazy? Like if I'm alternating between the variegated and the red, or the green and white and the red? This also has the scrubby yarn in it, so that might make it a better scrubby. I don't know. What's everybody think? Full on Christmas festive kind of colors, or experiment with the scrubby? I'm kind of leaning towards the scrubby. I'm going to go with the scrubby. Okay. Same thing as I did before. I'm going to get my 2 ends going. This is a new ball. Have I used any of this before? That is definitely... Oops. Aha. So. What? Ah, there's the end. Okay. All right, so I've pulled out a significant amount of the middle of the scrubby ball. And the thing I find with the scrubby yarn is that it catches. So I like to unravel a lot of it before I get going. And have it just have it sitting on the floor next to me. And I'm going to do a smaller version of the square. I'm obviously not going to make a 12-inch square because this is still going to be a dishcloth. So I'm going to aim for like 8 or less inches. You know what? I'll just use the same amount of stitches. Will I do the same size? 26? It's got to be a multiple of 3 plus 2. That's 26. I guess I'm going to go with 26 chains. So, all right. How is this working? Oh, that's it.
Anna says hello from Mexico.
Mexico.
No, wait a sec. Anna was in Mexico and is now in Germany.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Did you move there, or
Jet
are you just visiting?
That's quite a.
That's a hike.
That's quite a hike. All right. Mr. InStitches, I made an executive decision on color combinations here. I don't know what the chat may have suggested.
Let me see.
But...
I heard you asking questions there. Let's see.
I have a knot. I will not have a knot. Oh, what is that?
Everyone's just chit-chatting and saying
curious.
they like it and talking about flags.
Okay.
I like the variegated, pretty, very Christmassy, full of Christmas.
So everybody wanted the Christmas one instead of the one I chose. That would make sense.
Like see the Christmas one, what kind of pattern it makes.
I can do that. Would everybody rather the Christmassy one?
I don't know. Let's do a poll
Okay.
to be sure.
Quick poll.
So this dish. So you're doing a Tunisian stitch.
I'm doing a Tunisian basket weave, a color changing square.
Okay.
Dishcloth.
So Jayda's gonna do a Tunisian basket weave, color changing dishcloth.
I'm going to use red.
Should the theme be
red and variegated? Red and holiday?
Be Christmas?
Red and holiday.
Or Halloween?
No. Listen to what I'm saying.
No, I don't want it. Red holiday.
Red and holiday. Because this is the holiday yarn.
Okay.
Right here. Or red and scrubby. Which is the green and white.
Scrubby. I heard you talking about putting...
So red and scrubby, which is green and white, or red and holiday, which is that holiday variegated yarn.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Working on it.
All right.
Red and holiday or red and scrubby?
Yes. And I will pause while we do a quick poll because I like both and I'm in no hurry to run off. I've got tons of crochet to do today.
All right. Poll is off.
Poll is off. Okay. Because I mean, honestly, I like both. I like the softness of the cotton, but I like that.
Can we see
crunchy.
Once more the two combinations? Yeah. So red and holiday.
Red and holiday.
Red and holiday.
So
option one.
That's that holiday variegated yarn, right?
And option two.
Option two is this green and white and red scrubby. So this is mostly green and white, but it's got that scrubby to it.
So that's option two. Yeah. All right, let's see what everyone chooses.
So now I picked the scrubby, but that doesn't mean that I have to go with it. So if you guys would rather see the combo between the red and the holiday, then vote, and that's what we'll do. That's what is it? Majority rules. The majority is usually right. So I mean, like if I'm sitting here going, "Oh, this will probably look nice," I could be completely way off.
All right, so we'll give that a few minutes. We have 56 votes so far.
Great.
The poll is at the top of your chat box.
Yes, the poll is at the top. It's usually
just,
a different color.
If you click on the blue, it's usually a little blue line. It opens it up, and then you should be able to choose a vote on a...
Since red is going to be the consistent, I will start with red, and then we will figure out what the alternate color is, and I will move into that. So I'm going to start, I'm using the larger hook, slip knot 26 chains to begin.
Yes, so Anna did move from Mexico to Germany.
Wow.
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 What an adventure.
Yeah, that's a big adventure. I did the 26 chains. Now I'm going to pick up a loop for each of those chains. Your standard sort of first row of Tunisian crochet.
Mm-hmm. Lily says, no matter what, it's going to be beautiful.
Oh. Lily, who is ever hopeful and optimistic.
Love it. Joanna says, I like the variegated. Uh-huh.
I like them both. I don't know what to choose, but yes, the variegated would probably, I mean, we're going full Christmas if that's the case, which I'm totally okay with. It's tis the season for holiday crochet.
We got a membership milestone here from Connie.
Connie. Hi, Connie.
Connie says, have you seen the new yarn from Premier? It's called Sweet Roll Vivid Yarn.
I personally have not beheld it, but I think Cinnamon had some. Am I correct? I think Jennifer had some of the new cakes on last week. I'm pretty sure I saw it zip through my feed. And I remember exclaiming out loud, "Ooh." So yeah, I haven't gotten actually, it's been a while since I got my hands on any Premier yarn. I don't see it around here much.
We don't see it often in stores, and I think when we did get it, we got it from Amazon.
I think we
was
purchased it from
online
Amazon.
order, yeah.
But I don't, and I have never actually worked with any of the Premier sweet rolls. I have seen them, but I've never actually had any. So, and you know, to be fair, the last time we were in a Michael's, I saw sweet rolls, didn't get any, but they weren't anything, you know, particularly new. So
Bonnie
Keep an eye out
says,
for them.
since you're experimenting
Mhm.
and it's the basket stitch,
Mhm.
why not use all three?
All three. Oh.
Ah.
Hmm.
Oh,
I
you got her
think-
brain working there.
I
Click, click, click.
Think if I were to use all three, I'd have to break up. I'd have to go so 3 rows red, 3 rows holiday, 3 rows red, 3 rows the green and white one. I think I'd have to keep breaking it up with the red because I think you'd lose the interest of the pattern with the too much color slammed in together. I think, but
Our one of our subscribers, my Betty Boop, asks, can you show Tunisian stitch reduction?
Tunisian stitch reduction. Oh, so basically like decreasing. That's how I would understand
Is that what you mean?
Is that what you
Decreasing?
mean? Decreasing?
Is that shown in the tutorial?
No, we don't do any decreasing. We don't do any increasing or decreasing in the tutorials because we're just sort of practicing the stitches. But
I see.
if you mean decreasing, and yeah, absolutely, we'll do a little tutorial on
Do
that.
a little mini tutorial.
If you are a knitter, so if you were a knitter or are learning knitting, then Tunisian is kind of it's almost like a second nature kind of crochet because there are so many stitches that are the same or kind of built the same way that you can, if there's a particular knit pattern that you like, you can typically figure out how to port it to Tunisian.
Okay, I'm going to shut the poll down.
Sure.
Oh, let's get a few more votes, guys. We got 97. Let's get over 100.
Okay, that's a nice even number.
And then we will end the poll.
So I'm making the first 3 rows in red. So while we're waiting on the poll, that's fine. So I've started the basket weave pattern.
I'm waiting for our water to filter.
Sure.
That's why the coffee maker's not going yet.
I see. No problem. 3 purl, 3 knit, 3 purl, 3 knit all the way across until the end. And I'm doing a simple stitch at the end, just like we did in the tutorial.
All right, so the poll's in with 104 votes.
All right.
So it looks like the winner is Red and Holiday.
Okay.
65%.
We will use red and holiday.
Red and Holiday it is.
I'm just thinking, this is probably because everybody watching is smarter than I am, that the scrubby would probably have been, it wouldn't, like, I'm going for a specific pattern here, so using the scrubby may have just sort of obliterated the point of the pattern. I don't know. I'm not sure. Again, it's experimentation day.
Experiment day.
But we will use the variegated. I think.
I say match them all together and see what happens.
Well, I might do one of those too. Okay, so I will put this one aside. I took all that yarn out, so I'm going to have to make some with it. I'll do that later, and then I will get this one started. Ah, is there an end? Is there an end in sight? What's this? What on earth have we got here? All right, off the thing. What is this?
How's your water supply?
Aha. And end. My water could use a little freshening, but please make the coffee first. So I feel like I need the hot drink more than I need the water. And we will untangle this. Thank you.
No charge.
No charge.
That's a freebie.
Just tip your waiter well, right?
That's a free one right there.
Okay. This is, I know there's an end. Here it is, found the end. Okay. So, end over here. We will untangle this. untangling yarn? I feel like the trick to untangling yarn is just to not pull sharply and just kind of find two ends and let it dangle in the middle. And often gravity kind of does a lot of the work for you. Kind of pull on all the loopy looking bits, and there we go. Okay, so 2 more rows to go with the red that I started with, because I'm probably going to do the same thing. Start with the solid, 3 variegated, 3 solid, 3 variegated, and then I'll end with the 3 of the solid too. So I did the foundation row. I'm going to do 2 more rows that begin with 3 purl and then 3 knit, 3 purl, 3 knit. That's to establish the basket weave stitch. And Mr. InStitches has got the coffee going. Little afternoon coffee action. Coffee and dishcloths. Who knew such simple things could bring so much pleasure? I don't know if that that just says more about how simple I am or what. Kind of splitty yarn, but there we go. All right, back to knitting. 3 knit. And 3 purl. This is a smaller number of stitches to manage, so it doesn't feel as cumbersome. So that's nice. I don't know. I find with Tunisian, once you get kind of comfortable swinging the yarn around, especially if you're bouncing between knit and purl stitches, it moves pretty quick. I mean, it feels maybe like it takes a little longer than regular crochet, but then, you know, I feel like you make a whole row probably about the same time, in the same amount of time that you would a row of crochet, depending on the stitch. You know, if it's a slightly more complicated stitch. So that's 1. I'm on the reverse pass of row 2. I used the larger hook because I thought that might allow me to move a little faster, so I don't have to really think about my tension. The only problem I find with using cotton yarns is that I get the odd little fluff tickles my nose. 1, 2, 3. Okay, here we go. Wait, is that on the other side? No. 1 more row, and then I will change colors. And actually that's a handy thing. If I'm changing colors every 3 rows, that's also a signal to reverse the stitch pattern, because we do 3 rows of 3 purl, 3 knit, 3 purl, 3 knit, and then we switch and do 3 rows of 3 knit, 3 purl, 3 knit, 3 purl. And if you're changing colors every 3 rows, that will kind of remind you to change up your stitches too. So that's the theory. To be fair, I'm going to leave the foundation row in red. So I will have 4 colors, or 4 rows of the first red color before I switch, because I'm going to treat the final row of the square the same way. And so there'll be 4 rows of that color on the way out, but I don't think that ultimately matters much. Again, it's experimentation day. I don't know. Is anybody else out there experimenting with me, or are you all just watching the train wreck?
I think everyone's watching quietly because even the chat has slowed down a little bit. Everyone's paying attention.
Everybody went to make a coffee.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, oh, we're here for a while.
It's starting to smell real good.
Coffee time.
Everyone's paying attention to your stitch, every stitch.
So I'm going to complete this row. And then I'm going to join the new color. Mm-hmm. All right, so that's 3 rows of the pattern stitch plus 1 foundation row. I'm 4 rows into this square already, this little dishcloth. And I'm using a bigger hook than I normally do, so
Summer is experimenting
Is
on the hook size with the mini stocking pattern.
Oh, that's a good idea. So there's the basket weave stitch established. I'm now going to change colors. So I am switching now to that holiday variegated color. I'm going to leave a bit of a tail, make a slip knot, and here I go.
Anna says, I find that the reverse pass is always so satisfying and fast. You feel the same way?
Do I feel the same way?
The
yes.
reverse pass.
The reverse pass. And you know what I do in my head? I count, right? I want to make sure I haven't missed anything. I've got the same number of stitches. So I find it faster to count on the way back than on the way forward. But because you have to yarn over and go through the first loop only, and then you yarn over and go through 2, I'm counting. So when I start and go 1, it's 1 loop, 2 loops, and then 3, 4, 5, 6. So I always remember to just do 1 and then do 2 when I start the reverse pass. So I like that little trick, little number trick.
Oh my goodness. Hook Crochet, who's been a long time
Sandy
channel member, 38 months,
wow,
says, big news, my channel is monetized.
Hey, all right.
How did you celebrate that milestone? I don't think we did.
I don't think we did.
That happened. Our channel went through all that stage like almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I don't think we were really
paying attention.
We weren't 100% focused on. We were too busy kind of working. So
yeah,
we didn't really celebrate it. But
no.
I can tell you how we can celebrate your channel hitting that milestone. Everyone who enjoys watching YouTube crochet videos, when you get a chance, head over to Hook Crochet's channel and check out her videos.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the best ways to celebrate.
Yeah, in fact, I think.
Congratulations, by the way. That's fantastic.
It's a big deal. Congratulations. I think.
Yeah, because you have to hit. Things have changed.
Things have changed a lot.
You have to hit a certain number of subscribers. You have to hit a certain number of watch time minutes. Like there's a whole bunch of new stuff.
Yes.
So yeah.
That is a big deal.
That's huge. Good for you.
I was just thinking that was so long ago. I'm not even sure.
Almost 10 years.
Wow.
I can't believe it.
No. That was almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years around November. This winter. Yeah, this winter.
Yeah.
It'll be 10 years. So we'll be entering our 11th year.
I think it's time to retire.
You know what, guys? We're quitting. We quit. It's over. We're gonna retire.
This is the last live stream.
This is the last live stream ever. We're just teasing, of course.
Yeah.
Just teasing.
This is.
It's just amazing to say like 10 years because you're just like, what?
Well, the time.
Has the internet even existed that long?
Yeah, the time goes by. You know what it is? We really have our heads down and we're working. So anybody who has a YouTube channel will understand how much effort and time goes into producing a video. You know, when you design and make tutorials, it takes quite a long time. We spend all week most of the time on our videos. So, you know, you finish one and you literally are starting.
Between the other 800,000 things
yes,
we're doing.
You finish one video and you immediately start thinking about the next one because you kind of have to. And so before you know it, you know, the month is done, especially because we do the calendar blanket, we feel like the first Friday of the month is coming up all the time. It's amazing.
Would you like some high quality whole milk in your coffee?
Yes,
today?
please. Yes, please.
Would you like a little sprinkle of salt?
Yes, please. Gotta have my salt. Yeah,
that's a true coffee.
That's a
what
really
do you call that?
coffee hack.
What do you call someone who's like into something strong?
A fan? I don't.
No. There's a word I can't think of it.
No idea. All right, I'm on my second row with the second color in the reverse of the pattern. So hopefully I'll get a look at how this is shaping up. I'm not so sure that I picked the right hook for this. I'm wondering if this maybe was too big because I think my tension is a lot more relaxed than I anticipated. I I'm not sure. We shall find out in a moment.
And my throat really needs this coffee.
Yeah, well, we're not 100% yet. Not 100% yet. Yeah, this might be too big a hook. I don't know. We will see. Let me get this row and the next row done, and then we'll see what everybody has to say. Ooh, that looks good. Thank you.
I brewed this specifically for you.
Mm-hmm. Not you and your throat.
I'm sharing, but it was made for you specifically.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Cheers, everybody. Oh. Yeah, that's good. It's hot, it's strong, little pinch of salt. Perfect. And the reverse pass. 1 and 2. And so on.
I think I oversalted mine.
Did you? I just refilled the shaker.
Yep.
So.
It's fine. No, it's good. It's good.
It's good. Oops.
We got a handful of people here making themselves some coffee and tea.
Good.
For you.
Hey, it's an afternoon.
Enjoy the afternoon.
We're never sure how long these live streams will go. It looks like don't tell me how long we've gone. I'm not interested.
I thought we were going for an hour, maybe an hour and a bit. We are way over.
Well,
but that's okay. You wanted
fine.
to do a Tunisian.
Yes,
dishcloth.
and I wanted to do a little bit of experimenting. And I mean, it takes a little time to fiddle around and get everybody's opinions, which is part of the fun.
That feels better.
This is what we call slow TV, right? You're literally hanging out with someone while they crochet. This is not high energy, bouncy, like I usually. This is just I love this. I love just hanging out with people. I used to sit and watch my grandmother and my great aunts knit up a storm. That's what they do. They sit around chatting and talking about stuff, and they'd be knitting needles would be flying the whole time.
Yarn fluff everywhere. Cats going crazy.
Yes, cats. Actually, my grandmother's cats were very well behaved, and some of my great aunt's cats. I don't ever remember any of them getting into
attacking the yarn.
No, never once.
Really?
In fact, usually when there were guests, they weren't interested. They weren't interested in who was visiting, so they'd be somewhere else at the time. But okay, come on, reverse, let's go. So that's fun. Actually, that's very interesting. Oh, that's very interesting. Okay. Experimentation. So this is technically variegated, but the yarn color doesn't change very quickly. So it's almost right on that edge of being like self-striping. So what's happening is you're creating loops on the way forward, and then on the reverse pass, you've got a different color. So what ends up happening is that the front of the stitch is one color and the inside of the stitch is another color. It looks cool. Here we go. But my question is, can you see the basket weave stitch? And I feel like
I can, but it's very camouflage.
So look at this part right here. I love this. That's white stitches on the front because the white loops, and then there's green on the inside. I think that looks really cool. And then there's the red stitch beneath it. So there's the basket.
To be honest, you can see it more definitely with the variegated.
I think because of the color change in between.
Yeah, the color's changing in between.
I think that's cool. I'm going to do some more here. So I'm switching back to the solid red again. Right after a sip of this nice fresh hot coffee. Why do we not have a coffee sponsor?
I know. Where's the coffee sponsor?
I feel like we're always talking about coffee and weather.
Coffee and crochet.
Coffee and crochet.
That's what we should have called the channel.
Yeah.
Coffee and crochet.
Coffee and crochet. Okay.
And then just make like slurpy sounds.
Slurpy sounds, yes. I want to make sure that I am not twisting my yarn, so I'm going to go this way, and then I'm going to go this way. once more. Okay, so I'm dropping one color and I'm picking up the next. And because I'm carrying it, it's not too big a carry, but I want to make sure that I'm not pulling tightly because I don't want to pinch the edge of my thing. And now I'm switching back. So now I'm starting at 3 purl, 3 knit, 3 purl, 3 knit, all the way back. Here we go.
Sakura Sue sent us my absolute favorite super sticker.
Mm-hmm.
The little coffee mug splashing.
Thank you, Sue.
That's such a great little animation.
It is so cute.
Thank you, Sakura.
Sploosh. Yeah.
Love it. That's how I drink every sip. I splash it into my face like that. Half ends up on my shirt, the other half I drink. Kathy says, do a bag or a shirt, crochet and coffee. Yeah, we could.
Oh yeah.
We've been having some trouble with our Teespring shop shelf. The shop is up and running.
Yeah, is it there? Can you guys see the shelf of like beneath the video? Can you see like a t-shirt or anything sitting there? Because
yes, everything got, I don't know what they're up to, but everything kind of got buggered up and it's not displaying our stuff the way it's supposed to. But the Teespring shop still is working normal. It's just the shelf under the YouTube videos. Jessica Rabbit says, no, it's not there.
It's not there.
Yeah,
see? Thank you, Jessica.
It's supposed to be there.
Yeah. That's...
We have all the buttons clicked. Dang nabbit.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you know what, guys? I always trust the democratic process.
Yeah.
This
Sakura
is excellent.
Sue says, I can see the items, but when I try to purchase, it goes blank.
That's weird.
I don't know what's going on.
So Sue can see them. Jessica can't, but if Sue clicks on them,
they go blank.
They go blank.
Yeah. So we mentioned it to YouTube and they said, I don't know. They said like a lot of people were having this issue and then they were going to fix it. And then it's not fixed.
It's got a million things going on.
But if you're curious about merch stuff, you can go directly to the Teespring website. And our little shop should be running as normal there. Let me see if I have the link.
So I think already, if I was going to do this again, and I will, I am going to go back to using my 5.5 millimeter, the one that I'm doing the Tunisian blanket with, because I just feel either it's because I've been using it all year that my body is used to this size and so my tension is much more even, or it's a better sized hook with this particular yarn. I feel like this might just be a little too big, but you know what? I'm not sure. I will get a few more stitches in and we will take another look at it. I mean, it's, I can certainly use it, and it's kind of nice to, it's kind of nice to hold a heavier, it's nice to hold a larger, heavier hook for a change as opposed to the smaller one, because I'm used to using, when I crochet, usually I use my clovers, which have got the ergonomic handle on it. And of course the Tunisian hooks don't. So it's nice to hold something a little larger for a change.
It's quite a big change.
It's a little more
from
comfortable.
The standard hook to the Tunisian.
It is. It is.
Like you completely hold it differently.
Yeah, you're
approaching it differently.
Yeah, everything kind of wants to spin around on you. I found with tomorrow's new square, not giving anything away.
Coming up tomorrow.
But
that's number 10.
I found, so tomorrow's stitch, you'll all be happy to know, does not, oh, wait, did I? No, I'm doing the right thing. Tomorrow's stitch does not want to burrito, so there's no curling. But I did find when I was working away on it that it really wanted to curl like around the hook for several rows until it got a lot bigger, and then it didn't want to curl as much. But I found the whole fabric really wanted to curl, unlike some of the other ones we've done. So I will be interested to know if you guys have a similar experience. I feel like this has been
Diane says your hand gets tired easier. Do you find that too?
You know where I find the pain or the
I
tiredness
can tell why,
comes from?
because we're from where you're holding it.
It's so far away.
So far away from the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right through here.
Yeah.
Right through there is where, probably because that's most of where the grip is coming from, but right from the index finger down into the thumb, that kind of starts to ache after a while. But and I'm sure you guys are the same, when you're working on something and you just, you see it coming together and you can't wait to see the end of the next row, and then you can't wait to see the next color change. Even if you've got like something starting to tweak on you, you're like, oh, I can squeeze in a couple more rows. Like it's hard to put it down. Aw, I know it's and it, I sometimes what I'll do is I'll jam all the loops right up to the end, and I'll hold it in the middle, because then I find I've got much more control over it as opposed to just constantly handing it. Yeah, see, now I can really speed through here. But it's like knitting. When you're knitting, sometimes you have to move the loops around on your knitting needles constantly, and I find like I have to remember to do that with this because I'm not used to it with crochet. You only ever have one loop typically to deal with, so. Reversing. I love reversing. Zip, zip, zip.
Princess Francis!
She made it! She was in the pool earlier.
Yeah, Princess Francis made it, and Princess Francis sent us a membership milestone.
Hey, thank you.
40 months of super supportive support as a Silk member.
As a Silk member, thank you.
Really appreciate
Princess
that.
Francis is still toweling off.
Yeah. Nice day in the pool.
Mm-hmm. It is not a nice day for the pool here.
No, if we were pooling today, we'd be freezing.
Yes, it is overcast.
It's overcast and a bit breezy.
It is breezy. And
I think I saw a snowflake flipping around.
You didn't. You couldn't
Either that or a little bug was flying. I don't know.
The leaves are in full turn.
They are. This is the week.
This is the week, which is kind of surprising because it's
it's earlier.
Usually we have our Thanksgiving in the second-ish weekend of October here in Canada, and usually for the long weekend it's like drive around and look at the colors weekend. And maybe it might still be okay by next weekend, but it is full turn. Everything is like our one of our maple trees has gone just fluorescent red. Every time I walk by that window, I'm like, oh, that's so pretty. But so I feel like it's a bit early this year, which tells me that the cold is coming sooner. So it's going to be
a little bit sooner.
Hat and scarf weather sooner than normal.
You know how it is. It gets cool and then it warms up a bit.
It does, yeah. I mean, I got a sunburn the other day, like a couple days ago outside, and then now it's cold enough that I could put on a sweater. So this is the last row of red before I switch back again, and then I'll give you guys all a little peek at how it's looking. I think the hook's too big, but past that, I like it. I like the way the variegated color almost makes this look a bit like gingham, which makes me think that with a little more creative color changing with this basket weave stitch, you could get an actual gingham look going, which how cute would that be? I love gingham. Gingham is such a cute little pattern, which is more obviously to do with color than stitch. So that's why I think the basket weave stitch would really lend itself to it. Yeah, okay. So can you guys see the gingham effect? Or I guess, plaid would be another word for it. But I think if with a little creative color changing, you could make it look like plaid or gingham, and especially with that basket weave look. And little plaid basket weave dishcloths would be so darn cute. I'm gonna have to fiddle around with that and see if I can get something that looks like plaid. But that's not bad. I think that's cute.
It's variegated.
It feels so nice.
Yeah.
It's so that's the basket weave happening. I feel like, again, once I get this done, I'll take a good clear picture of it. We'll post it in the thing so you can kind of get a better look at it. I know that the stream isn't great, but
we got a whopping super chat from Princess Francis. $50.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
Thank you.
It's not even Christmas yet.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Did she say anything?
Princess Francis did not say anything.
Aww. Thank
But
you.
Princess Francis is also a channel member.
She is a channel member.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much. Wow. It's Christmas.
It's Christmas early.
It's Christmas early. Probably.
And from Nick B, who has been a channel member for 7 months.
Thank you, Nick.
Nick says, hello from Boise. I hope I'm pronouncing
Boise,
it right.
Idaho.
Boise, Idaho.
Yeah.
Missed you guys using our new heart emoji. That's the fall heart
fall
emoji.
heart emoji, because I love fall.
Glad you're streaming again, making my boyfriend a granny rectangle blanket.
Aw, very nice.
Nice.
Lovely. 'Tis the season.
It is blanket season for sure.
I've got one behind me. I've got one at my feet.
Someone mentioned earlier they loved your orange basket and they had a bunch of them. I think it was Diane, right?
Oh, this little guy here.
Yeah, the orange basket.
These things are great. They're, I think it was just the dollar store.
It's pronounced Boise.
Boise?
Okay,
It is?
Boise.
Boise. I've been saying Boise, Idaho wrong my entire life.
Yeah, we would pronounce that as boys.
Boise, Idaho.
Boys.
Yeah, Boise.
But Boise, we'll try and remember that.
Boise sounds a lot more fun. It's busy in Boise.
It's busy in Boise.
Aha.
It's busy in Boise, but you're not in Joyzy. How's that?
That's
No? No.
dad joke level
I'm working
10.
on my rap lyrics. It's dad joke time. Cue the dad jokes.
Cue the dad jokes.
Mr. Dexter sent us a 2 pound? Yes, I think that's pound symbol.
Yeah.
2 pound super chat.
Thank you.
I'm a beginner at crochet. Well, you found the right
You're in the
place.
right spot.
You are in the right spot.
And
That
if
is
you're a
for sure.
beginner, let me just say to you and anyone else who still kind of feels like they're on the beginner curve, crochet is more about getting comfortable with the way you hold your hook and your yarn than it is, trying to remember or memorize or, perfect stitches. So if you come across a pattern and you think, oh my gosh, that is so pretty, I want to try it, try it. Don't look at this is an expert or intermediate or any of that other nonsense. It's helpful if you're new and you want to, attempt something and you don't want to get discouraged. Okay. But if you really love the look of a project, you will figure it out. That is the brilliance of our brains. So, and everybody has a different sense of what beginner is. We've been doing this channel a long time. I've been teaching crochet to people for a lot longer. And I've seen people pick it up in a day and have absolutely perfect tension. And I've been stunned. I've seen other people take months to finally, really get it, but they kept at it because they really want it. And it mostly was just their discomfort with holding the yarn. And as soon as they found something that was comfortable for them, they were away to the races. So crochet is about getting comfortable with the yarn, getting comfortable with your hook and how you wrap those two things together. And the stitches come later. The stitches come faster when you are comfortable with the hook and yarn. So if you want to try a project, try it. If it's got a little gauge or a sample swatch, do the sample swatch first because it'll get you comfortable with the pattern. It'll show you where you might have problems, or if you're losing stitches, it's easier to see in a short, small piece than on a larger piece. And gauge is important if gauge is important. So if the project says, here's a gauge for that project, do the gauge, check your gauge. If there's no gauge, or if the project says, gauge is important, like with dishcloth, don't worry about the gauge. So I taught myself to crochet. I never paid attention to the whole this is expert, intermediate, whatever. I just it doesn't look hard. I'll try it. And if I didn't like it, I would put it down. If I did like it, I would muscle through it. And I think that's the best way to learn. So
it is a fantastic chat room today.
Sounds like it.
Everyone's chipping in.
You're giggling up a
tuning
storm
in
over there.
Working on projects.
Good.
We got another super sticker from Kim.
Thank you, Kim.
Kim sent us $2 with a I guess if you look at the screen there, you can see it looks like a lady
Oh,
kind of like
oh,
looking at you with the sunglasses.
I like it.
Yeah. I haven't seen that one before.
No, that's new.
Thank you, Kim. Appreciate
you.
that.
I feel like this is zipping along. I mean, I realize I'm pausing to chat, but I feel like this is moving along at a pretty good clip, this little basket weave pattern. And I feel like it's moving faster because I'm dealing with fewer loops. So as opposed to 38, like the Tunisian squares that we're doing for the blanket, I'm only using 26 today. And I feel like maybe that's a little more manageable in width. I'm not sure.
Inherited Stitches asks, are you using a buoy or a Bates hook?
I think.
Do you remember what one that is?
Yeah, they don't say, but I think.
Is that one of the new ones or one of the older ones?
No, this is one of my old ones. I got this a long time ago.
So who knows?
I think, let me just stop and ponder for a minute. I think it's buoy. I think because I can remember the packaging. I got this when I got both of these together. They came together in a pack. I got them when I was 15. So, I mean, forever ago. But I can still kind of remember the packaging, and I think they were buoy. These are crow hooks. So not your typical Tunisian or Afghan hook because they have a hook at both ends. It's so you can do multi-strand, different color, working in the round. Like you can do a whole bunch of things with double-ended hooks that you can't do with just a single-ended hook. But for the purpose of this year's blanket and obviously this little dishcloth, I'm only using the one-ended hook. And you know what? I've got enough fluff up my nose that I think I'm going to go blow it. So if you'll excuse me.
I recommend you do it on camera.
All right, I will be right back, my darlings. Give me one moment to go. Blow my little straws.
Give a good honk. Get that fluff out of there.
It is better. Now I don't feel like I'm going to sneeze. I'll be sitting here sneezing. All right. I'm busy crocheting and I'm experimenting.
You didn't even drink
a full coffee sits
my
here.
special coffee creation.
And it's so good, but I got some.
Of course it's so good.
Okay, let's see what I'm doing here. I've got one more row with this color, and then I'll be switching back, and we'll take a look.
I thought we were going to get a real good nose honking show on camera.
No.
Sound effects, ASMR, all that stuff, good stuff. Full HD.
I used to work
maybe 8K
with a woman who would excuse herself from the office and go to the washroom whenever she had to blow her nose. And I just thought that was the cutest, most polite little habit. And I thought,
adorable.
I'm going to do that. So
you were so stealthy. I didn't even hear you.
You didn't even hear me. Yes.
I'm impressed. Hey, we got a super chat from Nick.
Nick
is currently working on a blanket.
Thank you, Nick. A blanket.
$20. Thank you, Nick.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh my gosh.
So Nick says, here's some candy money for Halloween. Woohoo! So excited for the pumpkin crochet projects. Save some candy for yourselves.
I love crochet pumpkins.
Yeah.
How many crochet pumpkins have we done?
Oh my goodness. We have maybe 4, 5, 6 tutorials.
So let's see.
Someone was mentioning earlier how much they love the one of the pumpkin tutorials. I think it's the one with the orange. I don't know if it's which stitch is it, the one that actually shows the ribbing.
Okay, so we did the falling leaves pumpkin.
Yeah, that's the one that they love.
I love that.
Their favorite one.
So I love that pumpkin. We have our little mini pumpkin and we have our slightly larger pumpkin. We've got pumpkin coasters, a pumpkin square, a pumpkin sack. We've got the family members got a little mini pumpkin pouch tutorial a while ago. We've got what other pumpkin-y stuff do we have?
Jessica Robinson.
Oh, we've got the little pumpkin applique. 10.
I don't remember 10.
Wow. Okay.
I believe you though.
I love pumpkins. I love pumpkins and I love sunflowers.
There might be 1 or 2 free ones on the website.
We've got, I think, over on the pattern workshop page of our website, I'm pretty sure we have a pumpkin
I seem to recall a pumpkin pattern
of some sort.
And then there's a bunch of video tutorials. Let me put the workshop page. If anyone's looking for free written patterns.
Mm-hmm. So you can practice pattern reading?
So you can practice. Let me see here. Copy. You can go to our workshop page on our website, and there's probably 50 or more. Aw. Kim says, sorry, I can't afford more than $2 or $4. You guys are worth $1 million.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. You are super supportive.
We appreciate all the support.
All of it.
Any way it comes, and we really
even if you're subscribed and you just click the like button, that's the tiniest little thing.
Watching the odd ad. I mean, I know you've probably heard it all a million times from everybody.
That's super supportive. It all contributes. We appreciate it.
We appreciate it a lot. It's
especially the encouraging comments.
It's almost hard to put into words. Here we go. That is 3, 3, and 3. That's 12 rows in. So that's
interesting how it ended up on the same side.
Yeah.
Neat.
That's the planned pooling effect. Not that this was planned, but that's the pooling effect. Isn't that cool? I like it.
It's starting to look very festive.
It is looking very festive. I like it. All right, let's keep going. Definitely, if I were to make this again, though, I would use the 5.5 millimeter hook because I feel like this guy, I think, is 6 or 6.5. I think it's just too big. Make sure I'm not tangled. Here we go. And away I go again. So now I'm switching back to purl first. Purl and then knit. Make sure I don't make that first loop too loose. And here we go. Wow, this really does. So I know we've said it in the other Tunisian tutorials, but if you are having trouble with your work being too tight, going up a hook size makes a very big difference. This is a really big difference. Is that correct? It is correct.
Where is the best place to find aluminum Tunisian hooks? Well, it depends on what kind of craft stores you have locally.
Yes. So I would say that first check your local craft stores, like the ones that sell yarn and hooks.
Check your local thrift shop.
Yeah, check your local thrift shop. You never know what's going to show up in there. And then I would head online. So if you already shop in a place like Amazon, you might find something there. If the places that you like to shop also deliver, or you can shop online, like Michael's in the States. I think Joanne and Hobby Lobby maybe do online stuff. I think Crystal was saying that Joann's does curbside pickup and probably delivery and all that. And I think Hobby Lobbies have got slightly different options, but
Mary Maxim.
Mary Maxim.
They deliver. Yeah.
So those are those. So you can sort of check them out. They might have them.
Peggy said I got mine at Walmart. Walmart sells them too sometimes.
Walmart, it's hit and miss with Walmart.
It's hit and miss.
Sometimes Walmart has an absolutely fantastic selection of hooks and needles
of crafting things.
And I'm sort of blown away, but it depends. And then you can go into another Walmart and you're thinking, like
it's a sliver of a shelf.
What happened here? So it depends. But I would start in all those usual places. So for example, this set that I'm using, I think came from Michael's back in the day. And I have seen long aluminum Tunisian crochet hooks at Michael's in the past, but it's hit and miss. Not everybody has all that stock in at the same time. I recently bought a bamboo Tunisian hook that I haven't even taken out of the package yet. Do you guys want to see that? If you do, let us know. I'll go get it if you want to see it. I haven't even taken it out of the package.
Lens Mill, that's where we got recent hooks.
Yes, Lens Mill.
They're fantastic, but I don't know if they might be only in Canada.
I don't know if they ship to the States, but
they might.
I'm not even sure they're all across Canada. I think they might kind of just be sort of localized in central Canada.
Yeah, maybe.
Not sure.
Everyone is saying yes, please.
Yes, please. Okay, well, I will go grab it.
We're getting yeses.
Let me go get that.
There's another one. Hirschner's.
Hirschner's. Yeah, that's another online place.
Hirschner's. Thank you, Tanya. Hirschner's has them.
Yeah, like for example, not every country has the same
supplies,
the same stores, the same manufacturers, so it can really vary from one place to the other. Let me go get that hook. I'll be right back, everybody.
It also, even when you're ordering online, like even if you're ordering through Amazon, that pretty much ships almost globally, even they're limited to certain supplies based on where you're ordering from. But yeah, there's a lot of choices now, especially now with the order online and have it shipped to you.
Okay. This is the new one I got. Let's see if I can get it focused. This is Chiao Go premium bamboo.
That's beautiful.
It's a nice package. It's a 13-inch or 33 centimeters long, and it's an L or an 8 millimeter. So it's a big one.
Can you hold it at the screen and kind of just run it along slow so we can see it close up?
So
a little closer.
Let me just, I'm not sure how.
It's not going to be very focused, but that's good.
Yeah, it's not very focused.
Yeah.
I'll take a picture of the package.
It looks Japanese.
Yes.
It looks like Japanese.
It's made in China, but
maybe it's Chinese.
I think it's supposed to actually. I think it's Chinese. I think it's supposed to be Chinese. Anyway, I don't.
Does anyone know what that? Does anyone know what that?
I don't know if anybody can see that. I don't know how.
I wish I could read that.
I wish I could too. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it's probably Chinese. It was made in China, but anyway. Westingbridge LLC, USA, made in China. So it's a real global.
So Inheritance
real global
says
thing.
Xiao Gu is a Chinese company, sort of American.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So maybe they send a lot of
Westingbridge LLC, USA. So
from the
Xiao Gu, Xiao Gu premium. Anyway, let's get into it.
Ooh, an unboxing.
So I love this. I really like bamboo, so I was excited. Wow,
it's thick.
Very nice. Oh, that's really nice. Okay. Oh, that's nice. Oh, it's even got the 11 stamped in the. Okay, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Good quality.
Good quality. This is so smooth. This is really nice. They've got so Xiao Gu L11 or 8 millimeter is like burnt / indented into the actual wood, so you can feel it and see it.
I like that.
Love that.
That's the best way.
The fact that it's a size 11, because an L,
it's burnt right in.
It's an 8 or an 8 millimeter is also an L or an 11, but they put the 11 on the end, kind of like they would with knitting needles. This is a really nice stopper at the end, and it's a deep enough hook, because this is a bigger hook. You're going to want to use it with thicker yarns, like chunky, bulky, nothing maybe bigger than a bulky, but that's a nice hook. It's got a fairly decent depth to it. But oh, is that ever nice and smooth? It's got a little bit of a bow in the middle. Just a little bit of a bow, but that doesn't bother me too much because I'm going to hold it. My thumb's going to press into that anyway. Very nice. I like it. Very nice hook. Very thick. I love bamboo hooks. They're immediately warm when you pick them up. I love that. I feel like maybe I'm a little more sensitive to it because of the rheumatoid, but when I pick up an aluminum hook, you got to like warm it up for a while before it's warm to the touch. So I'm always kind of aware of that cool metal, which isn't a bad thing in the summer, but it's winter almost all the time here. So when I pick it up, I'm aware of it being cold for a while, but bamboo hooks are warm the second you pick them up. I just love that. And this one's smooth. There isn't a single burr or bump on that. So nicely done, Jiao Gu Westinghouse. That is a very nice crochet hook. Great point on that. Beginning to use
Is it possible the bow's intentional?
The bow? Maybe.
Yeah, it looks like it's bowed toward the hook, which, it kind of makes me wonder.
I don't know.
It's specifically bowed where the hook is.
You can see it's.
I don't know. Maybe it's not.
Like I said, I don't think it's really going to matter much, but that is the new Tunisian
bamboo
hook.
does feel really good.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. It's so smooth.
One of our channel members, Mela, asks about the granny square blanket that is behind you.
Oh, you can't really see it.
What yarn and colorway was used? Please and thank you. I think it was variegated. No, not the one you're sitting on.
The one I'm sitting on? Oh, this one.
I think that's the one.
Yes, this is. We did a live tutorial on it.
That wasn't a granny square game.
No,
that was just.
This is a 2-strand granny square. So you hold 2 strands at the same time, and I used 2 strands of variegated yarns. And you get this absolutely gorgeous circus. And it's warm and it's heavy. Oh, I love it. Actually, there's a couple more really pretty ones at the bottom here. So if you've got a lot of variegated yarns and you don't know what to do with them, may I humbly suggest a 2-strand granny square blanket, because it just looks, I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I love that. I think when you mix variegated yarns together, you get almost like what I call the garden effect. So you can put as many different colored plants into a garden as you want, and it looks beautiful. So yeah, that's the garden effect. But that is all acrylic. It's all variegated yarns, whatever I had in the stash. I typically like to match a dark theme with a light theme. Doesn't matter if the colors go well together, because they end up going well together. It's kind of a neat bit of magic. And then it comes out looking like that. So we've done a lot of different projects mixing together variegated yarns, the most recent of which was the shell stitch tote bag. And this was one of the colors. They look neat every single time. And if you're like me, you're attracted to variegated yarns, but you don't necessarily have projects in mind for them when you buy them, or you buy them and you put them on the shelf and you look at them and they're pretty. But you end up accumulating a lot of variegated yarns, because what do you do with them? They're kind of an odd thing. So I like to mix them all together. I make them into baskets. I make them into blankets. This has been fun, I have to say. This pairing them up with a solid and turning them into little dishcloths, I feel like that's really attractive, because you have just this sort of excitement of color every other row. It's not constant, so you can kind of enjoy the color changing without it being kind of overwhelming. I don't know, it's neat. That's how we're doing so far with the red and the holiday variegated yarns. I feel like that's a nice looking, I like it. I like it. I would have used a smaller hook next time I do it. And I think I'm going to fiddle with it in a way to see if I can get a more plaid effect going. not today, but maybe shortly down the road, because I'd like to. I think the basket weave would really lend itself to a neat gingham or plaid look, which and something small like a dishcloth would be super cute. So I'm halfway done this one.
Bamboo is a renewable resource. Yes, it is.
It is. It's grass.
It grows very fast.
It's just grass.
And it's fantastic wood. I love it. We have some bamboo trays, like cutting boards we use as trays.
I'm using one right now. I love it. Yeah, I really like bamboo.
We should have more bamboo things.
Yes.
Why isn't like all our furniture bamboo? It's so much better than pressboard.
Well, yeah. I guess here in Canada, we don't have a lot of.
Maybe it's a little difficult to like get the supply.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of bamboo here. We have, but I will say, you'd think in a country like Canada where it's just trees, that we'd have more solid wood furniture. But you don't.
Canada's unrecognizable right now.
Yeah, it's a bit.
It's kind of, it's like when you're watching a TV show and your satellite starts going all blurry and fuzzy.
That's what Canada.
That's current Canada.
That's what it feels like.
That's what it feels like. Mm-hmm. Some people are recommending all kinds of online resources. One of them is called KnitPal.
KnitPal?
I ordered a set of 13 Tunisian hooks from KnitPal store. Okay, KnitPal. That's from Monica, one of our channel members.
I should probably be making some notes here.
Yeah. You know what, too? We don't mention this often enough because we forget. But there are there are people on Etsy.
Yes.
Or eBay.
Yes.
Where they themselves kind of make this stuff. So you can check that too.
Yeah.
Check eBay. Make sure you verify who you're buying from. But check eBay and check
Etsy especially.
Yeah, because Etsy even has like some artists that do some really cool stuff.
If you're into collecting crochet hooks or hand-dyed yarns, you want to check out the sellers on Etsy. And a good way to know if a seller is a good seller is to just quickly check how many sales they've made. If they make that public, read some of their reviews. Check out whether or not they're a star seller. Or if they've got any sort of store badges like great customer service and shipping and stuff like that. Those are all kind of really handy little tools that you can use if you're new to Etsy or if it's a new store. That isn't to say that you shouldn't give a new store a chance, but if you're not sure or you haven't been, you're not comfortable navigating Etsy because you're new to it, then that's a good way to sort of see how established a store is and what their kind of turnaround time is and everything. But my gosh, the artisans and some of the beautiful hand carved hooks and stuff that you can get on Etsy are just gorgeous.
Yeah, they're more like you almost want to just display.
They're art.
You want to display them.
Yeah.
You don't really want to use them. Sakura Sue has bamboo flooring.
Oh, very nice.
Oh man, I would love bamboo.
That's
flooring.
hard flooring too. Like that's
hard and
like hardwood.
And it probably feels good under your feet.
Nice and warm. Again, me with the
warm. Yeah.
I like bamboo a lot. I'm always kind of drawn to it. I think it's also a very pretty wood. I know it's grass, but let's face it, it feels like a wood.
It does.
It's very pretty.
Yeah.
And it even takes a stain nicely,
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we had more of it.
Yeah.
I would totally go for a bamboo floor.
Yeah, that
makes sense to me.
The fact that it's so quickly renewable is like you say, why is everything
grow? Like you can literally sit there and listen to it grow.
Yes, you can listen to it growing.
It kind of goes like creak.
I also think I read it depends on the species, but I think I've read that some species of bamboo can be harvested twice a year. That's how fast it grows.
Well, there you go, grass. Look how much we have to cut grass.
I know. Look at grass.
Boo, lawn mowing. Boo for lawn mowing.
Boo for lawn mowing.
changing the subject.
I think this is going to be a successful enough dishcloth.
Yeah, that's right. You can even get, I forgot, but you can also get beautiful fabric in bamboo.
Yes, you can get
Monica
bamboo
has
yarn.
Bamboo sheets. You can get bamboo yarn. I love the bamboo yarn that
Yes,
we have.
bamboo
Feels
is
real
brilliant. Let's all just grow bamboo. Come on.
More bamboo.
More
There
bamboo.
should be more bamboo. I think you need a specific climate.
You do.
Area.
Well, to be fair, you can grow bamboo in the warm parts of the world, and you can grow hemp here. Hemp's also an amazing fiber. I wish there was more like hemp yarn and hemp fibers and stuff available.
Hemp makes a really.
I've
nice
used
material.
some of my favorite materials have been hemp, and they're just soft and they're durable and they're breathable, and I mean it's an amazing fiber. So, and also super renewable because it's a weed. Also grass.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. So far, 1, 2. So what do we got? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 rows so far of that little basket weave stitch, alternating between. I don't feel like it's got the same punch or the same effect as this one does. I feel like this one kind of worked out.
I think the way the colors mixed is a little more even. That one, they kind of ended up on the same.
Yeah, this one's more truly variegated. This one's almost more like a self-striping kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the stripes are shorter.
Yeah.
Don't dislike
Maybe
it.
a different stitch might have changed that up. But
maybe.
It still looks very festive.
It is. It's festive. All right. I'm going to just spin this again. Make sure nothing gets tangled. Switching back to the variegated colors, and I'm back to 3 knit, 3 purl. Here we go. Trying to make sure I don't pull that too tightly.
How's everyone doing out there?
Yeah,
Are you nodding off yet?
Yeah, is everybody nodding off? Should we keep going?
I think we have at least half of our viewers are probably asleep on the couch or the bed. Just listening to the chit chat.
That's not the worst thing, but
no, we do all the time.
We do all the time.
We're always putting on a live stream or a podcast, and we're like asleep in about 10 minutes.
We're so exciting.
Oh, this is great! I want to watch this.
Oh, I've been wanting to listen to the yeah. It's nice to have company. I understand that. I that's why I enjoy I enjoy sitting here live streaming with everybody. It's fun too. Like especially like when, we do these sorts of live streams that are long and they're chill, and we're just sort of sipping coffee and I'm kind of just experimenting with yarns and colors and stuff. It's nice to have that instant kind of feedback from everybody, like yay, nay, no, use this color over that color, That's fun. I enjoy that. It's just almost as good as sitting in a room with a handful of people.
It sounds like most people here are just crocheting along.
Good.
Hanging out.
Good. Let's
chilling.
Continue to chill out. Do a little crochet.
Yeah.
I'd like to get this finished. I'd like
a little bit of laundry.
Little light chores.
Light chores.
I
bet you at least one of you is sleeping right now.
Yeah.
At least one. Where's my alarm clock?
Oh, that's me. So I think I've made a relatively on-theme Christmas dishcloth here. I think this is definitely no question.
And you know what? The bigger it gets, the more it kind of like starts to even itself out.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I think
it's like a splash of color here and a splash of color there.
I think I can make the other one a little more Halloweeny if I add like an applique to it. So
Mrs. Ruth asks, have you ever done Tunisian with 2 strands held together?
Have Have I ever done Tunisian with 2 strands held together? Like, as opposed to alternating just 2 together all the way through? I am not sure. I don't have anything currently that I've done that. Maybe not. Maybe I have not.
That'd be a fun experiment.
That would be a good experiment.
I wonder how, that would be tricky though.
Yes, that would actually work probably well with this particular hook. Because that's holding 2 strands together takes a little bit of getting used to when you're just crocheting normally. But
Gina asks, what
that might be
yarn are you using for your dishcloth?
So this is all 100% cotton. All of it that I've used so far today is the Handicrafter by Bernat. That's typically the yarn, the cotton that we can get most readily around here, because Bernat has a factory in Ontario, and so it's pretty ubiquitous. You sort of see a lot of Bernat yarns around.
Yeah.
It's the Handicrafter yarn is best for things like dishcloths. It's not fine cotton yarn. It's no 24/7 by Lion Brand.
Yeah, it's not like mercerized or
Yeah.
like super finished and polished.
But to be fair, I wouldn't want to waste.
You wouldn't want to use that.
I wouldn't want to waste my
dishcloth.
24/7 on a dishcloth. I would stick to. Plus, this cotton is tough. I make a lot of our dishcloths. In fact, I think all of our dishcloths are made by me right now, and they last for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I'm not gentle when I do the dishes.
No.
So
I've got a few black eyes from Jayda's dishwashing.
So it's hardy yarn. It's not bad yarn by any stretch. It's just not the stuff that you'd want to make like a nice, really pretty sweater or shirt or something out of. It's you'd want to use a nicer mercerized cotton for that. This is just sort of loosely spun.
We've been asked a few times if we're going to bring back the Granny Square game live stream.
We absolutely will. We've been taking a mild hiatus from that because we are trying to figure out how to do the game with the app. We want to use that. So for any of you who don't know, we have an app that you can get for free. I think we've probably got the link somewhere.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it.
If you click on the link and you're on your phone, I think you can just download it to your phone. If you're on your computer,
you can download the link, which becomes an icon on your phone.
It becomes an icon on your phone. It's basically a link to the game, which is the app, because the app's not in the app store, but it's still an app. It still operates as an app on your phone. And it's free. We're the ones paying for it. We're the ones using the platform to keep it up and running. So, it's safe. Don't worry about that. But it's, we built the app because we wanted everybody to be able to play the game whenever they wanted to, and we wanted that randomness of the game available to you, as opposed to just sort of sitting and rewatching one of the Granny Square games.
We also have the paper versions in our Etsy shop.
We also have a paper version, so it's the pattern plus the game. You can make your own spinner and all that stuff, and you can do the setup that we've been using on the
show
traditionally.
Yeah.
So we are trying to figure out a way to kind of use the app while we do it, and we're still kind of working out we're working that out. We were going to do some this summer. Again, the summer disappeared.
The months are just.
It is
flying.
Not fun being an adult. There's never enough time to.
I want to be a kid again.
No, there's not enough time to have any fun.
Can we get a refund on adulthood?
Can we get?
Can we go back to some store and be like, I want a refund?
Yeah, hi.
I'd like to return this.
I'd like to return my adult years.
This adulting package? I'd like to return it for a full refund, please.
Is there a way to upgrade this adult package to have more time for fun?
No, can we upgrade this adult package to childhood package?
That's more like it, yeah.
Are you enjoying your game on the Switch?
Ooh.
Jayda's been
so yes,
hardcore gaming on her Switch lately.
I recently. Okay, so all right, quick little gamer chat.
You've been on a gaming binge.
I'm a big fan of the cozy games, and luckily lately there's been just a real deluge of cozy games coming out. Cozy games they're not super intense. They kind of have like a crafting, role-playing kind of, ism to them. Anyways, a whole bunch have come out. I recently got Dreamlight Valley, which is the Disney one. It's excellent. And I only put it down long enough to pick up Potion Permit when it came out a couple weeks ago. And I haven't put that one down yet. So I've taken a break from Dreamlight Valley, which I love, and I'm looking forward to getting back to. But I can't stop playing. I'm almost done Potion Permit. I figured it's kind of a shorter game. So I'm kind of like, I spend my evenings devouring that sweet little game. And it's very gentle. It's top down. It's crafting. Only you're making, like, you're a little chemist and you're making potions to try and like help a town. It's so sweet. Anyway, yeah, so that's great. I'm enjoying that. And it's nice to have a couple games that you really love for a change.
Jessica Rabbit says, I'm ready. Let's nerd out about games. Crocheting games. Yes, please.
Games. Crochet, coffee, and games.
I'm currently playing, I'm bouncing between Rune Factory 4, which I'm enjoying, actually. It's pretty good. And this sort of knockoff Zumba game. Is it Zuma or Zumba?
It was Zuma.
So it's like a puzzler where you're shooting.
You have to match balls as they move past you.
You're matching balls.
It's a fun game.
It's not as good as the original PopCap one, but it's
not bad.
It's on Switch. I'm enjoying it. It's one of those knockoff versions.
Oops! Don't you dare! Don't you dare unravel on me. Okay. So that's, what am I at now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 3, 18 rows.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I like get as close as I can. Again, I'm going to finish this.
Go right across.
I'm going to finish this today, and then I will make sure we post nice photographs so you guys can see them better than just sort of the live stream. But I like this. This is coming along.
Big shout out to Sherry.
Hey, Sherry.
Sherry has been a long time channel supporter and channel member. Sherry says, I am deeply enjoying learning Tunisian. Thank you, Jayda.
Great. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to hear that. It's different. I have been enjoying this year's blanket. I mean, we enjoy every year's blanket, but there is something so different about, I've really liked breaking up the crochet. So I crochet all the time. I don't pick up my knitting needles as often as I used to. And so when we decided to do the Tunisian blanket this year, I've been enjoying it so much. I've been enjoying picking up the Tunisian hook and sort of having to change the way I hold everything and the way I think, just briefly, to do the Tunisian square, and then I get back to the crochet. So I'm enjoying it too. So I'm really glad to hear that you're enjoying it, because it's cool.
For those of you curious about the game, just to quickly repeat, we have the free digital version of the app, which is I've linked in the chat.
So our Granny Square game app.
So that's the app that you can use on your phone. Mm-hmm. And the other version, which is like the paper version, you sort of print it out, you cut it out.
You can create the whole setup.
Kind of put it together the way we did. Mm-hmm. That's in our Etsy shop, and I've linked that too if you're curious about that.
Yeah.
And then you can also watch our live streams and sort of play along with those if you're interested.
Yeah. And we will get back into that. The time flew away on us.
Oh my goodness. This year, I keep saying every year, it's just like one after another. It just seems faster and faster. Shell made it.
Hey, Shell.
You've been streaming a long time.
Yes, you've been on for quite a while.
Shell says, hi guys, happy to see you are still going, just finished work. How many dishcloths have you made?
So Shell, I think I told Shell that by the time she watched us later, I would hoped that I would have a couple made. This is the second one. This was the first one. I made one full one so far, and I'm working on number 2. I thought I would try and do like a Halloween themed one and a Christmas themed one. So so far, so good. I'm going to definitely finish this one today. Mr. InStitches made another pot of coffee so that I don't go completely hoarse. But this is, I love this. I wanted to get a couple more done. I wanted to experiment with some color changes. I did one regular. So that's the pretty simple dishcloth, but I alternated colors every other row, every 2 rows, Every 2 rows I changed color. Love the way that turned out. We're going to take better pictures and post them later. And then this one, I decided to do Tunisian. It's the basket weave stitch, and I'm alternating between a solid and a variegated, kind of going for a Christmas look. Using a larger hook than I normally do. I'm just experimenting all over the place here today. And I'm still, jury's out. Jury's out. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's amazing either. I like to experiment when I'm doing dishcloths. I always experiment on a handful that we use before I make sort of a set that I think, yeah, those are good for gifts, and I put them in the make-ahead stash. So this, for example, this might just go straight into the make-ahead stash. I don't know. Mystery Stitches likes it, so we might get it. But I'll definitely make a few that are like this because I love the way it comes out.
I really like that one a lot.
This one's really pretty. It almost looks switched on. So I really like that one. And then this one I'm going to make again slightly differently with a smaller hook to see if I can refine it a little bit before I make some to give away as gifts. But not bad. I don't mind it. It'll certainly still going to be a good functioning dishcloth. But, when you give things away, you want them to also be aesthetically pleasing too. So that's where we're at. Wow, I guess we've been going a while. Don't tell me how long. I'm not interested.
You do not want to know.
I don't want to know.
You do not want to know how long.
It's a marathon dishcloth live stream. But why not? I was going to sit down and do some of this today, so it made perfect sense.
I think I'm going to need another piece of that beautiful sourdough bread.
Oh yeah. Mr. InStitches.
I'm getting ready for another snack.
Got some sourdough bread for us today, and it's really good.
Fresh sourdough from the market.
I love sourdough bread.
So good.
Mm-hmm. Sourdough doesn't.
Shell really likes the first one.
Yes, I really like it too.
Me too.
It's that falling leaf stitch.
I would give it a 9.2 out of 10.
Something magical about that stitch. 9.2 out of 10. That's very specific. I'm only half listening to you. So.
I know. That's why I'm,
trolling.
Going off.
I think because of the larger hook, this has turned out a little wider than I anticipated. Still not a bad thing. But
Jessica Rabbit gives you 100 out of 10.
Oh, thanks. Thank you, Jessica.
Jessica's a super supporter.
She also enjoys trolling the mister.
Oh, yeah. Everyone enjoys trolling the mister.
I enjoy trolling him. Yeah, this is cute. This is cute. Needs a little bit of... I like, too, that now the variegated colorway is starting to move. That makes it kind of interesting. All right, here we go again. I almost find it, the first few stitches are a little, because it's kind of loose, because of the bigger hook, because it's made my tension looser, I'm actually having the odd little bit of difficulty. I have to sort of stand back and look at it to identify my first 3 vertical bars. I find that the looseness of them kind of makes them look a little different than I'm used to seeing. So I have to kind of pause and go, am I looking at the right place? So that's interesting. Again, the pros of experimenting. You kind of learn a little bit, like, oh, for example, it looks different. Like some of this very familiar pattern looks different when I'm using this larger hook. Didn't see that coming. I think we've used the 5.5 millimeter hook for every one of our calendar blankets so far, because typically we use a size 4 weight yarn. Wait, did I put that in the right place? Yes, I did. And that's kind of my preferred hook size to go with the size 4 weight yarn. So of course I went with a 5.5 millimeter crow hook or Afghan hook for this year's Tunisian blanket. Knowing full well that, other people might want to use a slightly larger hook, or, you can fiddle around with the hooks to get the right tension. But this is actually the first time I picked up this larger hook and tried some Tunisian with it since probably I was a teenager. And I'm almost struggling a little bit. It feels better in my hand, but it does make it definitely affects my tension. But look at the way this dishcloth is hanging off like that looseness of the tension doesn't, it's not, the fabric isn't stiff or tight. So it's almost got like a little bit of a drape to it. I don't know. Do I like it? Do I not? I'm not sure. Jury is out. How many rows is that? That's 3 again. Okay, so yeah, we're getting there. That is now 21 rows of the basket weave, alternating between the solid red and the holiday variegated color. I'm going to do another set of 3. My plan was to start with red and end with red, but just because of the way things are sizing up here, I might just do the next 3 in the variegated and call it a square. I don't know. Let's see. More experimentation. All right, so I'm back to knit, 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 purl, purl, purl. So that's the color I'm dropping. This is the color I'm picking up. And I don't want it to be too tight. Carrying it up. And let's not make that too tight. There we go. Oh, look at that. I'm already using the wrong. You stay out of the way. This is the color I want to pull up. There we go. All right, now I'm back. See, it's those first 3 vertical bars every single time. They give me some trouble, no matter whether I'm changing color or I'm just starting into another row. So that's new, and that's because of the bigger hook. That is interesting. You can tell from the quiet that Mr. InStitches has gotten himself a snack.
Penny noticed.
Penny noticed.
I tried to be as quiet as possible, but it didn't work.
They know you too well.
I'm snacking on this fabulous sourdough bread.
Yummy.
Monica, he's getting sourdough bread. How did you know? Did I give it away?
They know you too well.
Yep.
It's like when if you have a pet and it's very quiet and you're like, oh, what are they up to?
Or a child.
Or a child, yeah.
Or a spouse.
Or a spouse.
Hey, wait a minute. It's oddly extremely quiet.
Hang
What's
on.
going on?
Yes. Something's up.
Are you on your final row there? It's starting to look like a nice square.
It's looking like a square. I've got 2 more rows of this color to do, and then I'm going to do a row of the simple stitch in the red. So I'm going to switch back to red for the last row, and then I'm going to do the border in the red.
How's your coffee? You want
It's fine.
another round?
Nope. I won't sleep if I have
You
another
don't want
round.
to hit the ceiling?
No. Yeah, so I've got 2 more rows of the pattern
Everyone
stitch.
has bionic ears. I'm gonna have to dial down the microphone level.
Bionic ears. Are you chewing?
Barely made a sound over there. Everyone's like, oh, he's making bread. He's eating bread, sourdough. It's buttered. He's finished buttering. He's taking his first bite. I'm like one of those cats that only hides half of its body.
Aw.
You know when they're behind a curtain?
Yeah.
They think they're hidden, but their whole butt sticking out. I love that. So
I know, me too. Yeah, because then if you grab them, they hit the ceiling.
Yeah. You grab it. It's like, ah! And then you regret it.
Well, then you regret it because
shreds your arm.
they're all nails on the way back down. Yeah. All right. I keep waffling on this basket weave. I keep waffling back and forth on this on using this larger hook with this yarn. I feel like
Keep waffling the waffle.
Sometimes I think my tension is just too loose because of the hook, but then I realize that like, there's just this nice drape, like the fabric itself has got a nice feel to it, and I'm like, and I know that's the change up in the tension, so I'm all over the map on deciding whether or not I like the way this is turning out, because I'm considering a bunch of things. I'm thinking about the color, I'm thinking about the pattern, the color, how it reflects in the pattern, I'm thinking about the tension and the weight. So I'm doing a sort of comparing a bunch of things here, but I mean, it's I don't think you can see the basket weave effect as well because of the variegated yarn. So I don't think that worked out.
I also feel that the color red seems to mask the basket weave design too.
You think the color red?
I think that has something to do with it. But also, yeah, it's really difficult to see with the two different stripes.
Yeah. Now, if it was two different solids, that might be different.
Oh, absolutely.
So
I think so.
I'm going to have to experiment. I'm going to have to do another experiment with that. To sort of see if I want to get this basket weave to look a bit like gingham.
Yeah.
So I think
two solid colors.
The solids, maybe even three solid colors. So I'm gonna have to fiddle around with that. But...
What size hook are you using?
So I went with this is either a 6 or a 6.5. I haven't measured it, and it doesn't actually say on the hook anywhere, but I think it might be like a 6.5. So a K hook. Because it's big, and I haven't actually used it in a long time. Normally, I would have gone with my 5.5 millimeter, but I thought since I was experimenting today, I would take the opportunity to use the larger hook just to see if it kind of improved my tension or made for a nicer looking stitch. I think this might have been too large a hook for this particular project, but I'm not sure. I want to get it finished. I'm going to put the border on.
I'll be the judge of that.
You'll be the judge of that.
Use it.
It feels good. So aesthetically, maybe it didn't do what I wanted it to, but it feels really good. Like the texture is nice, and the weight of the fabric is nice. It's kind of drapey. So
you're gonna give us a nice close up.
So let me just clip the yarn. So that's the end of the variegated, and now I'm back to just the solid red. I'm going to do a row of simple stitch, and then I'm going to put the border on, and that will be another completed dishcloth experiment. I kind of like how the variegated yarns have kind of gone off. It almost looks like there's half a Christmas tree from the back. Look at that. That almost looks like half a Christmas tree.
Oh my goodness.
So that's a kind of a cool thing.
Yes. Yeah, when you say that,
like you can really see that.
You can see what looks like an evergreen tree.
Yes.
So you're looking through
Over
blinds.
Here. Yeah.
Everyone picture this. You're looking through blinds, and there's an evergreen tree.
And it snows falling.
The snow has fallen.
Yeah, that's exactly what that looks like.
Oh my goodness.
What a neat trick of the color.
That is so funky.
So that's kind of a neat little thing that happened.
That is a happy accident.
Yeah, that's a happy accident. Yeah. Let's just finish this off here.
I might give you a piece of my sourdough bread for that ingenious maneuver.
That wasn't me. That was a happy accident.
That was a happy accident.
Yes.
The universe did that.
It says, here, this will look neat.
Here, do this. I think it's fantastic that you even saw that.
Yeah, well, I was staring at it from behind and I thought, oh my gosh, that looks like a tree.
That's like a Van Gogh painting.
Well, not quite, but maybe.
I don't know who would have red blinds, but the effect is really cool. I'm sure some people have red blinds.
Did somebody ask that? Who has red blinds?
In some funky like cafe or restaurant or something.
That would actually be kind of neat. I mean, as long as like the rest of your room was sort of like, I guess, a bit chill. Because I mean, when the light comes through those red blinds, that's going to change the color of the room significantly.
Yep.
Color, isn't it amazing? Color and light.
Anna says, I was a happy accident, according to my mom.
That's sweet. I like that. A happy accident. Darn right you are. Okay, so that was a row of simple stitch just to finish it off. And then I'm going to do a regular single crochet edging all the way around, kind of like I do with the Tunisian squares for the blanket. And that will be another little dishcloth done. Okay, so I love the way this one is draping. This one has a nice fabric feel to it. I just don't know, and I really like that funny little accident with the... All right, I don't have a larger regular crochet hook with me because usually I switch to that, but so I'm just going to do... I'm going to do the regular single crochet border with this large hook, but you can do that. That's no big deal. So I'm going to single crochet now in every single vertical bar all the way across the top, down the side, across the bottom, through the foundation chain row. Same border that I've been putting on the Tunisian squares for the calendar blanket. Nice and simple. It's not terribly easy to crochet with regular crochet with a great big heavy Tunisian hook, but it is possible. I'm also crocheting over top of that little tail, so as soon as that's out of the way, I'll speed up a little bit here. Got to drape it on my knee because it got pretty heavy. Okay, one more stitch and that will cover up that little tail, I think. Yep, here we go. So now I can speed up a bit.
The brick, Bonnie sees the brick of a chimney on the other side. Let's see, flip the other side.
Hang on 1 second, let me pause. So that's the side that's the tree
and snowfall.
And then on the other side,
the brick from the other side. The brick from a chimney.
The brick from a chimney.
I kind of see that.
I think I know what you mean.
Yeah. I see it.
And then this side. See, this is the back of it, and because of that neat effect with the Christmas tree, I kind of like the back of it.
To be honest, now that it's finished and you've seen that image, it looks amazing.
Yeah, now
it looks like a painting.
I love the color pooling. That really worked out in a neat way.
Experiments. This is why experimenting is great.
Yes. This is why experimenting is awesome. Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, golly. Plus 2 new dishcloths.
Yeah, bonus.
So I'm going to crochet in each vertical bar down the side. Trying to just get the first one, not both loops.
Rachel asks if you have ever used the Tunisian hooks that have the cord on one end.
I have one of those. It's a Susan Bates, and I have not used it for any specific project yet. I mean, basically, it's for larger things like blankets and whatnot. Now, having said that, I have knit using knitting needles with those long cords on the end, and maybe it's because I haven't done enough projects with it, but I find it cumbersome. I would love to know how everybody else feels about those corded hooks and or knitting needles. Do you find them handy, cumbersome? You know what I find happens the most, and I again haven't done this with the Tunisian hook with the cord, but I'm guessing something similar might happen. When all of those loops slide back onto the cord, it's on one hand helpful because they're not sliding off the end of your crochet hook or your knitting needle, but I find the loops tighten up on me. So even though I'm not, yanking on the yarn or anything, by the time I have to sort of scoop all those loops back up onto the hook or the needle, they've kind of tightened up, and it's just what's the word? It's like sluggish, because now I've got to like get them all to kind of loosen up and get back up on the hook or the needle, and then they don't want to move around as much, and then sometimes I have trouble getting if I'm knitting, getting the other needle into it. Does anybody else have that? I don't know how to deal with that, because that has been my experience every single time. I still use them. Like I've made some big cowls and stuff using those knitting needles and actually knitting in the round using the cord. But I find that even if I try to knit loosely, I find that the loops still tighten up on me. Don't know why. All right, now I'm heading across the bottom. Got one more little tail to weave in down here.
I like how you have the built-in border.
Oh yeah, because I'm using the red all the way around?
Yeah, because down the side, it's like you've already bordered it.
It's neat and tidy that way. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like this. It turned into a nice square dishcloth. I like how the color worked out on the back end of it, but I'm just not so sure that it matters that I went and used the basket weave pattern, because I think the way this worked out, it wound up being more interesting the way the color landed as opposed to the way the color did or did not enhance the pattern. I don't feel that it enhanced the pattern.
No.
But I feel like the fact that it was striping every 3 rows kind of helped enhance the color pattern, but not the actual stitch pattern. So I don't think you need to, if you're going to use variegated yarns in Tunisian crochet, you don't need to go with a very complicated pattern, because there's really no point.
Big shout out to Nay.
Hey, Nay. Good morning.
Nay has been a long time channel member.
Yes.
Nay says, I've missed you guys. I haven't seen a live in months.
Yes.
Marisha and I just woke up, so I tuned in.
Good morning.
Good morning. Is it morning?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nay's in New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, so happy you made it.
And happy spring.
Happy spring.
It is not spring here. It is fall.
It is the opposite.
There's some sun. The sun came out, made a sort of a little show of things.
I am seeing the odd little. No, there's no way that's a snowflake. It's impossible.
No, there's no way. It's
not that cold.
It's not cold out there.
I think it's little insects.
Yeah.
Flying around doing their insect stuff.
Oops, did I not grab that? Oh no, I did. Okay. All right, so now I'm working up the side where all the yarn is carried. So now I've got to try and get under that.
Is it not spring in New Zealand, or is it coming up? Isn't the winter ending? Nay says they had snow yesterday.
Oh well, how rude!
How dare you, nature?
Oh, come on, stick with the calendar.
Nature, you're supposed to follow our human calendar to a T.
I'm trying to make sure I get that little carried color as I single crochet up the edge here. so you don't see it. So I'm kind of making sure I get my hook underneath it. Yeah, I'm doing an okay job here so far. Changing colors also tends to make one loop a little tighter. Like every third loop up the edge ends up being a little tighter. So I'm trying to make sure that I don't miss that as I crochet. All experimentation.
Sakura Sue says, as a beginner Tunisian crocheter, the cords were hard to handle. But now, after a year's Tunisian calendar squares, I actually prefer them.
Okay.
The Ginger, in brackets, Knitter's Pride brand, hooks are fabulous.
Ginger, Knitter's Pride.
Yeah, Ginger. We'll have to look those
I
up.
do like Knitter's Pride.
We've got some Knitter's Pride stuff, and it's good.
I tend to like that brand.
Yeah, it's a good brand.
I think I can skip that.
Nay planted her garden a little too early.
Oh, bummer.
Mm-hmm.
Around here, you have to wait till the May 2-4 weekend before you do anything of any seriousness. Yeah, before you step outside. Basically, yeah. before you do anything of any seriousness in the garden, for sure. Oh my gosh, it's so true. Some of these are tight. The color changes wound up being a little on the tight side, but that's not too bad. That's another reason that the hook is handy, because you can just sort of, if you've got a tight stitch you need to work into, you can just grab the hook and hook it in through that stitch before you pass the rest of the hook through. That makes things easier. Yeah, this is okay. And that's the last one. Okay, so last single crochet, chain one, and slip stitch. Holy cow. Okay. Snip yarn. Fasten off, weave in tails. Here we go. So that's the last thing. I think I have one tail. I managed to work over the rest of them. So let's get this woven in here, and then we will show off the final effect. 2 complete dishcloths made during today's marathon dishcloth experiment live stream.
I think they turned out great.
I think so too. I'm surprised by both of them. Neither one of them turned out looking the way I kind of anticipated they would. So that's why it's good to experiment. You never know. This hook made for a much looser tension in my Tunisian, so I don't think I would use that with this size yarn again.
Penny says, Jayda, you cease to amaze me how well your work comes out. It's very beautiful.
Thank you.
Even when Jayda makes an accident mistake, it still looks good.
Yeah, it's
Actually, that's not a mistake at all. It's just an accidental coincidence.
I like it. I like the way the coloring effect happened, but you really can't see the basket weave.
You can't see the basket weave, but then again, keep in mind our stream, our bandwidth and our camera can't do the HD.
I will post photographs.
Yeah, we'll do a
later,
nice clear photo.
So you can.
Can I see the other side with the tree? And
so that's the tree side.
Yeah. And it almost looks like the sun's going down in the top.
Oh,
corner.
wow.
So like
we painted a picture here.
I'm seeing a Van Gogh painting. That's what I see.
I like it. That's the back.
I like it a lot, actually, from that side.
That's the front, and that's
this
the
one
back.
looks. Can anyone see any funky image in that one?
Yeah, so that's the front. I don't really.
What do you see by that?
It's just kind of pretty.
I agree with one of our channel members who said the back looks better.
Yeah, the back.
The back looks like you did it on purpose.
Yeah, it does. It's really so funny, but and it's interesting texture on the back.
show everyone else the one you did earlier, but for the people that just
this is the one we started the stream with. So we made, this is the pretty simple dishcloth that uses the falling leaf stitch. Love this stitch. This one came together really fast. And I was experimenting by alternating colors every 2 rows. I really like how that turned out. It did not turn out the way I thought it was going to. I thought this was going to have a much more purple green Halloween kind of effect. And it didn't. It's just kind of pretty. It looks like paint box colors, like you've opened up a watercolor, you know?
Yeah.
So beautiful texture. Love the way the colors worked out on that. Didn't work out the way I anticipated, but you know, happy accident. And then we did this one, which is the Tunisian basket weave stitch. Again, alternated between a solid and a variegated, and it did not turn out anywhere near the way I thought it was going to. So there's the 2 of them together. Now, they're both useful dishcloths. They were both an interesting experiment. I like the way this one turned out in terms of color patterning. This one is pretty. Very different. I didn't expect it to pool like that. All the green to one side, all the red to one side, and all the white in the middle. And I don't think you can appreciate the basket weave stitch pattern in this one. So I don't see the point in alternating. I don't see the point in using variegated or not self-striping, variegated. I don't see the point in using a variegated yarn with a fancy Tunisian stitch, because you just can't see the stitch. It just doesn't show up as much. Like it doesn't show off. It feels really good. It drapes really nicely, but aesthetically, you're looking more at the color than anything. Both things worked out. You've got a really neat the color aesthetic. You've got a really neat, you can see the pattern, you can feel the pattern, because that falling leaf stitch has got just such a nice bumpy effect. So I don't know. I like them both, but my gosh, neither one of them turned out the way I thought they were going to. 2 different little dishcloths. I will post photographs later in the community post, so you all can see a better, clearer photograph. I think what we'll do is one of those posts where you can kind of like scroll through the photos sideways if you're on a phone.
Yeah. We'll do multiple close-ups and what hook and yarn was used.
We'll make a note of that too.
Yep.
Oh, and before I forget, we will put our dishcloth patterns in the shop on sale. So wait a little bit so that I can take care of that for everybody. So if you want to pick up a couple, like for example, the falling leaves stitch, that pretty simple dishcloth pattern, it's my favorite. We'll put those on sale today. We'll do that as soon as we get the stream finished. So photographs are coming, so you guys can weigh in on. You know what? We'll do a poll. I'll do a poll instead of a scrolling thing. I'll do a poll. Which one did you like better? So you can see a photograph of it, and you can decide which one you like better, because those are fun. And we'll put the dishcloth patterns on sale. And tomorrow morning is our October Tunisian calendar blanket square. I'm not going to tell you the pattern. It almost slipped out. It's coming tomorrow morning. Yeah, because tomorrow is Friday, first Friday of October, so it's time for the next square. Oh my gosh, that came out fast. There's only 2 left. After this month, there's only 2 left.
November and December. And then we're retiring from
and then we're leaving.
Crochet and YouTube. Bye, everybody. That's it. It's over.
Yeah, so busy next 24 hours.
Okay, I am going to post a link to our community page on YouTube for those of you, anyone that just joined as a new member or a subscriber, or if you want to sort of see like updates and news, that's where you want to go. I just posted it.
And that's where we're going to post the picture poll shortly, as soon as I get some nice, clear, bright
photos. You know what? We'll also post that we're doing a little flash sale on our. Yeah,
we'll post a reminder and a link so that you don't have to think about it.
Yeah, reminder flash sale on the Etsy shop for dishcloths.
Yeah.
And that's it for today.
Yes. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. It has been a long one. This was a long but chill crochet extravaganza, experimenting with dishcloths. I love dishcloths. I hope you guys had a chance to get a little bit of work done on your whips. I hope you were just happy to sort of hang out for a little while. And we will see you tomorrow morning, not live, Kim, if you're watching. It is just it's going to be our Tunisian tutorial, the Tunisian square tutorial for our 2022 Total Tunisian calendar blanket. That's the October stitch coming tomorrow morning. And then it's the weekend. So everybody take care. Stay safe, stay crafty. We'll see you in the morning for the stitch. And some posts are coming. Until then, everybody have a great night.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us.